Oh yeah. Guys, we're going into lockdown again. Just kidding. I made that up. Gotcha. You guys are so ready to just lock yourselves in your closets for no reason other than the fact that I told you to. It's so easy. All I have to say is, guys, you're in trouble, and you're like, I guess I'm in trouble. I guess I'm evil. I've always wanted to be grounded ever since I was a little baby. 28 years later. I haven't seen 28 years later. I'll probably see it this weekend. Please don't talk about it. I need to go into that movie. I don't want anybody to say it's good. I don't want anybody to say it's bad. I just want to go into it completely just brain rotted. I don't even want to know anything. We're already locked in the basement. Oh, that's right. We'll keep you in there. You only saw 69 days later. It's the best. I'm ground dead. I'm grounded beef. How was my day? It was good, dude. I'm feeling good. I'm on a normal sleep schedule. And that makes me happy because I feel like I got so much more to do in my day. You know what I mean? Oh, shit. I can twerk. I can twerk and my back doesn't hurt. Jeremiah Larkin with the 50 big ones right out the freaking gate. Shaking that thing, Jeremiah. Thank you so much. You rock, Joel. Love you in Arizona. Thank you, Jeremiah. Do you see a lot of scorpions out there? Shake it, old man. Shake it. My dentures fall out. Do you have any tips for building up your shoulders? What do we got? I mean, you really can't beat overhead press. And, you know what I mean? With the compound lift of the barbell and slowly adding weight. And, there's this one program called 531. But you can get ChatGPT to make you one called 12-10-8. And basically it's 12, 10, and then 8 controlled reps. It's like a rep scheme or whatever that you can do progressive overload with. But the reason I prefer that one is because it's you can get stronger, but you can also really focus on your form and getting the amount of reps necessary to grow muscle. But yeah, I guess, what is the big ones? We got, what's the one where you have it right in front of you and you pull it up to your, almost like you're doing a clean, but you're not? Just sub to my true crime channel. Oh yeah, good idea. I forgot. I have to pin that. I got a pin. I got a pin. Thank you for reminding me. I have to pin that in the chat here just so I don't forgore. What's up, Ollie? Okay, there we go. And yes, yeah, we're at 7,000 subscribers over there, so be sure to check it out if you haven't already. It's called Saturn Soul. If you had a choice to live forever, would you accept immortality? Dude, I was just thinking of a funny joke. where it's like, you know, all those like sort of fitness creators or like fitness influencers, and they always fucking like show themselves like, you got to drink out of a glass bottle, or you got to cook out of, you know, steel iron skillet, or you got to serve your beef on a goddamn fucking piece of wood from a tree, you know, that kind of thing. But I was just thinking it'd be so funny, like, if those, like, people, because they've done that, and they're like, oh my god, I'm 156 years old. Why won't I die? And then someone from Big Plastic is like, well, buddy, I mean, we put those microplastics in the bottles and all of our products because we are trying to keep you from living too long and suffering. We're doing this for you so you can die at a reasonable age and not just go around like a goddamn skeleton. Alright. Anytime I ever like write a joke down, it's so unfunny, but you get the idea. Please end me. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess we should write. If you guys ever have any skit ideas, please write them in the chat. I want to read them out loud. This is the first time you stream, but I absolutely love your channel. I love your voice for sleep. Thank you for your continuous and consistent uploads. Congratulations on joining Ballin Studios. Thank you, Leanne. Yeah, we are cruising right along with the new episodes for that. It is Sunday. New episodes every Wednesday for A Twist of History. Having a great time with those guys. Super, super blessed to be a part of the team. And it's been fun. It's been really interesting. Like, I don't know shit about history, and this is like getting my foot in the door of the frickin', like, basically the lore of Earth. Do you record live for other channels? No, yeah. I mean, well, technically, yeah. I guess like Saturn Soul is recorded here because all the true crime begins here and ends up over there as like, you know, full on edited videos later on. History is pretty freaking sweet. Yeah. Isn't it weird to think like a lot of the times we don't even know what's going on, what's like true in the news, but then at the same time, like how do we come to the consensus of what's true in history, since that's even longer ago? What if it's all just like made up? Do you recommend for social interaction outside of bars? I guess just like joining like a workout class of sorts, joining yoga, joining a spiritual community like church. You could join a creative arts type thing. A hiking group would probably be really good if you could find that. I know they do like running groups, but running kind of sucks, like trying to talk, especially if you're new to it, you know what I mean? Obviously hiking would be like way better. Isn't there like an app for friends? It's basically the Tinder of friends. We were all living on a cemetery, one big one. It's awesome for US history nerds. I love it. Yeah. Painting with a twist. Meetup. Yeah, the Meetup one sounds really familiar. Yeah, and I think Bumble's a dating app, right? My shady neighbor was asking weird questions about my truck, and I think he might try something weird. What's he asking? Joel, I gotta go. I need to go grocery shopping. If you're still live later, I'll probably hop back on. Bye. See ya, Iris. Yeah, I'll be here. Trying to start a little bit earlier than normal, as you know, trying to get back into the normal sleep schedule. So, how have I been? I've been good. I've been feeling a lot better. I'll be honest, like, since hurting my back, I've learned a lot. I've learned that, like, stretching is good, but activation and strengthening is just as important. Now, I did see something from Squat University, who I have a lot of respect for in that realm, saying that you don't want to strengthen, that you just kind of want to do, like, simple activation stuff. But I don't know, like doing GHD prone and supine shit has like made my back feel like, and my core just like completely immensely better. So to be honest, been trying to sleep more early, but so far no luck. Yeah, maybe get some magnesium, you know, set up like a routine that tells your body, maybe some stretching before bed. Something to let your body know it's time. So glad I get the vibe at the beginning of the stream. Usually I'm at the gym, but my back is killing me today. Yeah, bro. Welcome to the clan. But no, yeah, I'm good now, you know. I got a long drive come this Friday to go down to see friends in North Carolina. But, so that's going to be dog shit on the back. But hopefully, once I get out, I can stretch my legs here and there. Yeah, we're hella early tonight. And a tornado watch, but no, out here planting pepper plants between the batches of rain. Nice, dude. That's freaking sweet. How long is that drive? Dude, it's like 7 hours and 15 minutes down that way. Or like over 7 hours, which is crazy. I just did a 5-hour drive on Sunday and drove back on Sunday. Oh, okay, wow. 10 hours of your day just driving. Yeah, I mean, I guess eventually I'll just turn my brain off and break it up between like podcasts and stuff. But I'm fairly certain that like Joe Rogan is CIA, so maybe I won't listen to him anymore. I gotta get up at 3:30. I'm glad I can listen. Oh man, yeah, get some sleep. That's crazy. 9 o'clock already on the East Coast. Try listening to Let's Read's podcast. I can try it. Do you listen to yourself? No, I don't really like listening to myself, to be honest with you. What's up, Sarah? Doing good. Did you not like that he had Bernie on? Oh, I don't care. I'm not really like pro, expansion of government or anything like that, but honestly, I think the unfortunate thing about like the left versus right paradigm is that the pendulum swing often like justifies both sides expanding the government in various unseen ways, you know what I mean? So it kind of happens one way or another. Okay. Anyways. Ever drove in a car with no AC? Oh man, probably long ago. Otherwise those windows are guaranteed open. And my head is out that shit like a dog. Alright. So anyways, we got Appalachia. Appalachian Trail stories, Appalachian Mountain, whatever you want to call it. Kenya. You're in Kenya? That's freaking sweet. How's Kenya treating you? The favorite story I've ever read. I don't know, honestly. I've had some additional or extraordinarily messed up ones lately with Albert Fish and then that Joseph Fritzl guy we recently read. Alright, dudes. Let's get it. Favorite is Pazuzu. Oh, the demon? Ah, the demon? Do I get scared anymore? I mean, I get scared, but I don't really get scared of text, you know what I mean? Like, I can hear stories and be like, damn, that's fucked up, but I mean, like, I could hear the most fucked up shit about, like, Albert Fish, like, eating kids. Right? It's, like, terrible, but then if I were to hear, like, a creak in my house, that's what I'd be like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like, a more direct threat. I watched a documentary on Fritzy. It's pretty fucked up. Yeah, I can imagine. Apparently there was a lot of stuff we like did not really cover. You know what I mean? Goats or gats? What about a goat gat? Oh yeah, Albert Fish would put needles in his junk. Yeah, that was insane. Was Pazuzu a demon? I thought he was just compared to a demon in that story. Oh, I don't actually remember. Who is Pazuzu again? I remember one story you told when I was working alone in a house about a Russian Boy Scout leader. Oh my God, dude, I tell people about that one, about how like traumatic experiences just like completely rattle the brain, right? I don't know how to explain it exactly, if it, because honestly, I wish there was some way to like, I'm sure the CIA probably did like experiments on people where they like show them something very traumatic or have something traumatic happen to them and then like scan their brain directly afterwards. If not, they should try it. But like, I feel like something's got to happen, because basically with that guy, he was out one day, Soviet, Russia, like Cold War era. I don't even know what year it was, like the 70s in Soviet Russia. And then some dude crashed his motorcycle into a big group of basically the Boy Scouts of like Russia, and like killed a bunch of like Boy Scout kids. And something about him witnessing that crash, the fiery mess that was there, the bloody mess of the kids and the other people that died, and then the smell of the oil, it was like he basically ended up joining the Russian Boy Scouts and then like physically and sexually abusing these boys while in the midst of having to like smell motor oil or something while doing it to get off. And it was just like so many layers of like fucked up, like how he got to that point. And it's just like, Jesus, dude. You thought Pazuzu was just on Futurama? He's everywhere, bro. It's like, yeah, it's like adult shaken baby syndrome. Chikatilo, absolute mad lad. Yeah, dude, what's up, Sammy? How goeth it? I do believe we have a Sam true crime. Yes, we got a true crime from Sam here tonight as well. Okay. Sam is essentially the creative mind behind the Saturn Soul channel, so we got his Substack linked in that channel. So be sure to go support him there. He's amazing. Omar with the 22 months says, just dropping in to say hello. Keep up the good work, Joe. Thank you, Omar. Good, always good to see you, my friend. All right. My grandpa, Cyrus Foley, was a church-going man. When he was still in his teens, he served in France with the Marine Corps during World War I, fighting hand-to-hand with German soldiers among the trees and trenches of a land he could barely even point to on a map. He was just a boy when he sailed off to France, but he returned a man, and one who'd continue his life of service by joining the Haywood County Sheriff's Department here in western North Carolina. He said he saw the very worst of humanity out there in the mud, the blood, and the barbed wire. He said he saw the devil, too. Maybe I should read that again. I feel like that's a pretty cool line. He said he saw the very worst of humanity out there in the mud, the blood, and the barbed wire. He said he saw the devil, too. He saw him when the bravest soul he'd ever known ran out into no man's land to Drango. Did I start early? Yeah, I'm sorry. He saw him when the bravest soul he'd ever known ran out into no man's land to drag a wounded comrade to safety of a... He saw him when the bravest soul he'd ever known ran out into no man's land to drag a wounded comrade to the safety of a shell crater, only to witness both men blown apart when that very same shell hole suffered another direct hit by German artillery. He also saw him whispering into the ears plural. You want me to burp? It's probably in there somewhere. Boiling, building, brapping. Yeah, I'm just starting early because I want to try to get to bed like between midnight and 1-ish. Listening to Joey Badass. Who's Joey Badass? That sounds so familiar. He also saw him whispering into the ears of good-hearted church-going country boys who started to enjoy the killing just a little too much. He said that's when he realized that there truly were these competing forces of good and evil in the world, and that both, not one or the other, plant their... Damn. What's up, Mira? What's up, Crystal? How are we doing, guys? Maybe limit the time you stream to 2 hours. I would, but I also, I'm kind of a completionist where I'm like, if I don't get the narrations done tonight, then it slows down my whole stuff tomorrow upon editing. And then I'm also trying to get another Twist of History episode done, tomorrow, because I already did one this week before I go for the weekend, just so we kind of, because it's nice to give them kind of a jump start, if that makes sense. Just at the gym now and a better because you're live. Nice, Em. Good luck with the pump. He said that's when he realized there truly were these competing forces of good and evil in the world, and that both, not one or the other, plant their seeds in a man's mind. The man doesn't get a choice in that, but what he does get to choose is which one he waters every day. Water that good seed and great things can happen. Water the bad one, and, well, you get the idea. And that's why he went to church every Sunday, to water that seed of good, so it kept on growing and kept on bearing good fruit. Some weeks he'd stay for Sunday service and then head home with everyone else. Others, he'd spend many a long hour sitting in the pews, eyes closed with his hands clasped in prayer, trying to figure out how in the world folks could be so damned rotten to one another. One time I was staying over at his place while Mom and Dad were having one of their fights, and he was telling me stories about his time as a deputy. He had stories that'd make you laugh till your sides hurt, and he had some real tear-jerkers too. But then this one time, I asked Grandpa to tell me about some of the spookier or scarier things he'd seen as a deputy. I was older then, maybe 14 or 15, and being a grandson, I guess he didn't bother. Not the seeds. Not the seeds. I've told you the name of Joey. I should have paid attention. I should have paid attention in modern contemporary rap artist class. Now I'm going to be so... How are you... Shorn, what's it going to feel like when you're 35 and all of the other rappers is just diaper noises, and you're going to look back and you're like, these guys freaking suck. Chad, I'm sorry I haven't been showing up to the streams. How's my peeps doing? Doing good, Fire Sauce. How are you, brother? I was older then, maybe 14 or 15, and being a grandson, I guess he didn't bother holding back on all the details. Because by the time he finished with this story, I just about had to kneel down to pick my jaw up off the floor. Grandpa Cy said back in the late... The rapper Joey. Isn't there... Yeah, there's a rapper Joey, but is Joey Badass different from just Joey? Because I remember there's a... Sam Hyde adjacent, kind of a chubbier gentleman named Joey, who kind of does experimental rap music. But is that Joey Badass? React to his Red Bull Spiral freestyle. Oh, that's Joey with 2 Y's. Okay, yeah, I know. I've never actually heard any of Joey with 2 Y's stuff, but yeah, I always see memes of him pop up and it looks pretty funny. Grandpa Cy said back in late October of 1923, he went to bed one Sunday night feeling light as a feather. It had been a quiet week, the weekend weather had been nice but dry, and he'd eaten a Sunday dinner fit for a king cooked by his new wife and my future grandma. As he drifted off to sleep, all felt right with the world, but when he woke up, he found himself in the middle of a crap storm of biblical proportions. So Grandpa woke up at 35 at 5:30. Wait, did it say that they're in? I guess they're in North Carolina. So that's North Carolina, Appalachian area. I just didn't hear Appalachian Trail. Look back at the area I listen to right now, or the new generation when I'm 30, as you say. Well, yeah, I'm just like, can you already anticipate yourself? See the future right now. I need you to see the future. You're 30, you're 35, you're an old man. You're an old, dastardly, dying man. And on your 35-year-old deathbed, you have to listen to the new social media site. It's called Squirbles. And all of the kids on Squirbles are listening to Squee rap. Now, Squee is actually just a little tiny squirrel. Like this, at this point, we've gone so postmodern and post-meta that like main rappers are just squirrels now. You find a squirrel off the street and you put a mic up next to its face and it just goes, and then everybody in the audience is still doing the same thing, like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh damn, did you hear Squeeze fucking freestyle and it chased his ass out of a tree? Yeah, he had a whole nut in his cheek. He had a whole motherfucking nut in his cheek when he did that shit. That's your future, Shorn. That's your goddamn future. Because that's what I have to go through. So, Grandpa woke up at 5:30 in the morning, took a shower, and had some breakfast, and then drove over to the sheriff's office in Waynesville in the old beaten-up Model T the department gave him. He opens the place up for 7 a.m. sharp. Then he sat behind the front desk drinking his second cup of coffee when a man from a little town called Woodrow comes stumbling through the door, having walked all the way down the 276 in his stockinged feet. Stockinged feet. Stockinged. Yeah, what if it's just Alvin and the Yeah, what if the biggest rap stars in the future is just Alvin and the Chipmunks? I hope so. I think honestly we kind of did peak as far as a musical society with Alvin and the Boys. Mick Mouse Rap House. He opens the place up for 7 a.m. sharp. Then he sat behind the front desk drinking his second cup of coffee when a man from a little town called Woodrow comes stumbling through the door, having walked all the way down the 276 in his stockinged feet. Grandpa Cy said he could tell the man was drunk before he even opened his mouth, but he looked worse than drunk, because his big bloodshot eyes had this wide, frightened look about them, like they'd seen something awful. The man staggers up to the front desk and tells Grandpa Cy that he needs to lock him up. Then when my grandpa asks why, the man gets very agitated and begs to be locked up or shot because he's just murdered his wife and infant daughter. Now, my grandpa didn't know this man from Adam, and people say all kinds of crazy stuff when they're drunk, but that man sure looked like he'd done something awful. So without putting any cuffs on him, and without even locking the door, Grandpa Cy sits the man down in a cell, then calls the sheriff to let him know what he's heard. A few hours later, my Grandpa Cy joined the sheriff and a handful of deputies in driving over to Woodrow to verify the man's claims. He might have been drunker than a possum in a moonshine jug, as they say, when he walked into that office, but the man was no liar. He'd hacked his wife and infant daughter to pieces as they slept in each other's arms. The axe he used was lying just a few feet away. Grandpa said that you couldn't tell where mother ended and baby began. The sheriff and Grandpa Cy then drove back to the office, and after sitting down with the murderers, they asked him why he did it. With the worst hangover of his entire life kicking in, and having what the fuck is going on? This guy with the 2 says, I'm going to sleep, but I'm here. Stay cool, cool cat. Thank you, this guy. Always good to see you. Yeah, I'm going to wrap all these stories. With the worst hangover of his entire life kicking in, having not slept for all of 24 hours. Oh, God. I'm an 80s rapper. That was an 80s flow. What about Simon and Theodore? They had beef. Alvin was a blood. Simon, as you know, was a Crip. Theodore? Grove Street. Do I know Little Mabu? Is that the monkey from Aladdin? It's got like the little hat on his head. With the worst hangover of his entire life kicking in, and having not slept for all of 24 hours, the guy wasn't exactly lucid. But what he said commanded my grandpa's full and undivided attention. About 2 months before he hacked up his wife and daughter, the murderer, a man named Lenny McLean. Make sure I'm saying Lenny McLean. Oh, Apu. I'm thinking of Apu. Apu. A big pile of poo. All right. Let's see how you say this name. McLean. Me when I just get out of the shower. Joel McLean. McLean or McLean. Okay. Damn. Words have a great way of not being pronounced at all how you expect them to be. No cap on God for real type shit. Type shit in chat. It's that real type shit in chat. About 2 months before he hacked up his wife and daughter, the murderer, a man named Lenny McLean. Mr. Clean? About 2 months before he hacked up his wife and daughter, the murderer, a man named Lenny McLean, was walking home from his job at a sawmill when he met a woman by the roadside. She called herself Lilybeth. She called herself Lilybeth, and she was the most beautiful young woman McLean had ever seen. That first occasion, McLean and Lilybeth simply swapped smiles as they passed one another. But then the second day, they got to talking, and the same could be said for the third and fourth and the fifth, and so on. And by the time the weekend came, McLean couldn't keep his mind off of Lilybeth, and he wanted nothing more than to get back to work on Monday so he could walk and talk with her again. This carries on for about a month or two, with McLean saying Lilybeth seemed to know him better than he knew himself. He said things that she said things. Yeah, this character is just Mr. Clean going to work at a sawmill. Thank you, cowgirl. Parentheses, single. I've never seen a YouTube name where you like designate your dating status. That's funny. I'm a bumbling fool. I would love to talk less, probably why I listen to people read. Oh, no worries. She said things that made him feel like he was walking on air, things that made him think everything in life was going to be just fine, and that the only two people that mattered in the world were him and her. McLean said he realized that he was in love with her early on, but the more they walked and talked, the giddier and more lovesick he'd get when he was and wasn't around her. He said he tried to keep a hold of himself, that he knew it was wrong, but one day it just spilled out of him like a river breaking through a beaver dam. He told Lilybeth that he loved her with all of his heart and soul, and that he wanted nothing more than to be with her for the rest of his life. But seeing as Lilybeth knew McLean was a married man, she told him that was impossible. The idea of simply abandoning both his wife and infant child was unthinkable, as with no means of providing for themselves, they'd either starve or end up in some kind of poorhouse. And back then, those places were riddled with all kinds of diseases and parasites, certainly no place for a single woman and her newborn. No. If McLean and Lilybeth were going to... Wait, what was his name again? Lenny? Lenny. Hey, Lenny. Anakin McLean. Luke Skinwalker. That'd be good. Got tuberculosis, Lenny. I feel like you really didn't see Lenny beyond that one mission where you went and got drinks with him. Kind of sad. I always watch the whole stream the next day because of all the messages chat. Thanks, Alexander. Yeah, the comments after are always interesting to check. I'll be honest with you, the only place that I check comments anymore is the live streams. He was prominent in Rhodes. Was there other missions in Rhodes that he did besides that drinking mission? No. If Lenny... And Kenny. What's up, Kenny? Oh, that's Valentine. Right. Where's Rhodes? I don't even know. And the sewer people popped out. What's up, Ike? How you doing, dude? Mike and Ike. No. If Lenny McLean and Lilybeth were going to run away together, there was something that she insisted he do first, and that was to send his wife and newborn daughter to heaven. Lilybeth asked if they were free of sin, and when McLean told her they were, she said there'd be no better parting gift than paradise for all eternity. He said that at the time, it all made perfect sense to him, and that he thought of it like being a surgeon. He had to do something brief, bloody, and ugly, but it was something that would benefit all parties in the long term, especially his wife and baby girl, who would no doubt forgive him once they understood, and they would understand, because everyone was going to understand once they heard the full story. He said it was like being drunk without whiskey, that Lilybeth twisted his mind until a thing that shouldn't have made sense seemed like the cleverest concept ever conceived. So that night, after arranging a place he'd meet Lilybeth after sending his wife and daughter to live with the Lord, Lenny took an axe from the woodshed around the back of his house, waited till they were asleep, then hacked them to pieces. When he was done, McLean washed the blood of himself and off himself. Hitsubasa, thank you for the 30 months. Says, hey Joel, trying to burn some calories at the gym, but slow progress, but I'm getting there. That's awesome, just think to yourself, I'm gonna work out and eat good for the rest of my life. It's a new lifestyle I've chosen. It's my new secondary religion, and I am going to be disciplined with that, and it's going to make me feel good and happy. And I think you will be pleased with the progress. How do you guys hollering, laughing? What happened? What the hell did I even say, man? He really didn't think this through. No, I don't know. He must have just had a huge boner, and all that blood was just not in his brain at the time. What's the theme of this video? I think it's Appalachian mountain stories. Do I know Jack Harlow? I do know that name. Is he British? Or is he a cereal box character? Oh yeah, I've seen this guy on a cereal box, but he was on the back and it said missing. Missing talent? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he's awesome. I never listened to him though. I live 30 miles off the Appalachian Trail 3/4 of my life. Just realized that recently it follows me. Interesting. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I wasn't saying he was bad. I never listened to him. I just don't listen to, like, you know, I'm kind of a hipster when it comes to bullshit. Everything except what's on the radio, essentially. But that's not to say that I don't sometimes really like songs that are on the radio, you know. Yeah, I just listen to Bach and Beethoven. One time they were playing Beethoven outside of my one convenience store, and everybody was like, had their hands over their ears, like, ah, ah. It was crazy. I didn't mind, though. I walked right in. I listen to my farts in my Prius. Yeah, and then I record them. The farts get captured in a jar and recorded and marked and dated. What's up, Snow? I'm CIA. I am CIA. Guys, every time you listen to my stream, there's subconscious messaging in both the stream and the recordings coming from my voice that make you really, 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 really like eating pizza. You might not know it, but you actually, out of most of the American citizenry or world citizenry, like pizza 2 to 3% more than most other people. Hence why it's really hard for you to control yourself when you see a Papa John's commercial or Pizza the Hut. Yes, you are getting programmed. Slowly. Slowly but surely, I am trying to make all of you fat. Fat. And jiggly. And thick. You're eating toast loaded with butter? Hell yeah, it's close enough. Keep going. When he was done, McLean washed the blood off himself and changed his clothes, then ran off into the woods to meet Lilybeth at their prearranged meeting place. He's running through the trees, thinking about how happy he's going to be with the memory of his family He's running through the trees, thinking about how happy he's going to be with the memory of his family's hacked-up bodies becoming an ever more distant memory for him. But when he gets to the romantic rendezvous, right when he was supposed to, Lilybeth is nowhere to be found. McLean doesn't just go wandering off, though. He waits there for an hour, then 2 hours, calling out her name and wandering around the dell. The dell? What the hell's the dell? Send the fat waves to Eugenia Cooney. Oh, poor girl. Oh. I just tilted my foot to the side and I could feel Pradeep. I don't even see him. It's so dark in here that I don't even see him. He's right at my feet. I don't know. How do you convince someone that's has an eating disorder to get well? You know what I mean? Do you think at that point, metabolically, it's just going to be even harder for them? Do I know Lil Mosey? I do not know. I know Baby Grinch. Does he look like him? 75% beer, completely on my diet 11 months ago, lost 45 pounds, 54 going on 35. There you go, dude. Congrats. Torture. You have to torture them. You have to convince people of anything else, you have to torture them. Reminds me of American Dad episode. I saw a doctor say it's likely too late for Eugenia. Damn. Do I know the Rizzler? Bro. That's like asking me if I know who Muhammad is. Of course. He's the second coming of Christ. If I lose much more, I won't be strong enough to do stuff. Well, I mean, just keep As long as you continue to train and continue to take in an appropriate amount of protein, you should be able to maximize your, useful structures. You heard Riz fell out of fashion? Nah, bro, that's never going anywhere. We all got it. In excess. You need to lose weight, too fat. Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is just, like, if you can, switch from, like, normal soda to, like, diet soda. Some people say they see, like, 10 pounds lost just from doing that. And then try to, like, incorporate walking, if you can walk. Just put on a podcast, put on a hat, some sunglasses, and just go on a fucking walk. Try to get, like, 5,000 to 10,000 steps and just see what happens. Only millennials say Riz. That's our word. That's our word. You can't say it. If you say it, we get to hurt you. Gaining weight is so hard, man. But I quit vaping and gained 10 pounds in a month. Interesting. Well, I guess that makes sense since nicotine is sort of like a appetite suppressant. And really at the end of the day, it's like, there are varying degrees of people's like metabolisms, I believe. But, if you're not gaining weight, you just need to increase your calories and figure out how much you need to increase it till you start going up, Am I a morning or night shower? Definitely nighttime, since like I'll work out and then I usually shower right after my workouts. Well, I guess it just depends on whenever I work out. I'm a millennial and I do not approve that message. What are you talking about, dude? Come on. You gotta be on my side. You have to support the community. Switching to sugar-free drinks helps in your diet. Yeah, it's technically, obviously, you eventually want to try to make it to, like, water. But, I mean, obviously, baby steps and, yeah. You're actually having difficulty gaining weight. Went from 250 to 114. A little under 5'8". Interesting. So after losing a bunch of weight, now it's been hard to gain it back. That's interesting. I lost a ton of weight a few years ago after quitting my job. It was effortless. Nice. I love going to the gym, but I'm terrified to lift weights because it's embarrassing, so I do 1 hour in the Stairmaster. Oh, well, don't be... I know that feeling of being embarrassed, but really it's just like, what is your program for lifting? Have somebody make that for you. Maybe they take you through the lifts, obviously that would be ideal. And then they can just like, you stick to your program and you just like make progressive overload, as they say, where you like, oh, you're benching the 5s. Oh, okay, next week you're benching the 7.5s, you know what I mean? I lost 60 pounds last year with food prep, maintaining the park. Nice, dude. Damn, you guys are... I don't even remember you guys being on top of this shit. I just weighed in today at 450 pounds. There's nothing wrong with diet soda. You'd have to drink like 1,000 of them to have any negative effect. Compared to regular, it's night and day. True. I've just heard people say that it still like causes a... I don't even know, a insulin response, but should collab with the Rizzler. Yeah, he should read a story on the channel. McLean doesn't just go wandering off, though. He waits there for 1 hour, then 2 hours, calling out her name and wandering around. But then, just as the sun's starting to come up, he sees it. A little wooden statue no bigger than a child's doll, and it's sitting right there in the center of their meeting place. He said he walked over, picked it up, then when he saw it bore a strange resemblance to Lily Beth, he realized he'd been stood up in quite spectacular fashion. He didn't want to believe it at first. I guess no one would. But as he walked back towards the crime scene that had once been his home, reality took a bite out of him. He sat on his kitchen table, drank every drop of illegal home-brewed liquor he had stashed away, and this was back in Prohibition times, and then walked all the way into Waynesville to confess to his crimes. Once he was done talking, The sheriff told McLean he was officially under arrest, which naturally confused the man because he thought he already was. And after that, he slept for just shy of 24 hours. Moon peanut butter. Moon pies. What a world. Women typically have a harder time using the same methods men use to lose weight too. Interesting. I wonder why that is. It's just like a hormonal thing, you think? I wonder if there's like if you could like mathematically like represent the exact one-to-one differences, you know what I mean? Because you would think like the laws of thermodynamics as far as like calories in, calories out would just like directly apply. But I'm curious, like I'm sure it's a little more complicated than that. I don't know. Did this man run into some sort of Lilith-esque demon in the gist of the story? It seems like it. Hormonal. You're saying she's horny? I don't know which is the one for storage of fat. Insulin? I mean, I guess a lot of it like definitely promotes it. Cortisol. I don't know. Maybe women just have like a constant. I mean, I guess they definitely have like lower testosterone for sure, and like men, you know, have such a high degree of testosterone that it's just easier to build muscle. Like they would just essentially be on steroids compared to women. Insulin is 100% what causes you to store fat. Okay. I think it has something to do with the thyroid gland. It's my thyroid. Just not as easy. Did you learn how to play cribbage yet? Or still soy as fuck? Dude, I'm a mega soy boy right now. Am I weighty? No, I'm not really weighty. Today I weighed 218 pounds. Yeah. I feel pretty good. You know what I mean? I've been lifting since I was like 14 at this point, but obviously we can always be a little thinner. After that, he slept for just shy of 24 hours, on and off of course, accounting for the nightmares. And every couple of hours, McLean would wake up screaming, and then would only drift off back to sleep once he was done wailing his apologies to a wife and daughter who couldn't hear him. It was terrible, an unthinkable thing he'd done that previous night, but he wasn't the only one to commit a heinous act around that same time. Just after midday, one of the Haywood County deputies comes running into the office saying there's been a triple murder down in Willits. There was a little house on Cantor Lane that was home to the Browning family, consisting of William, his wife, and their 2 sons. Well, one of the Brownings' neighbors decided to stop by to check on them, as he hadn't seen or Oh. How tall am I? I'm 5'10" and a half. Gotta get the half in there. It's so hot in Pennsylvania. Your AC broke. Oh shit. Sorry about that. It has been hot as shit. I wonder if it's gonna go down. You're 6'2", 250. God damn it. I have to get up to 270 to out. And I had to get up to 270 and wear stilts and stilettos. They should make stilettos stilts. That would be kind of sick. Imagine that at Cirque du Soleil. Honestly, I love the heat. I love sun. I love the heat. It just makes me happy, man. No, I mean, obviously, like, you don't want to be out there too much, but you weigh 155. It's all good, dude. Just figure out your macros and get lifting, and you'll do it. It won't take long. It'll take you like a year to get jacked. Well, one of the Brownings' neighbors decided to stop by to check on them, as they hadn't seen hide nor hair of the Brownings all morning, and their 2 boys hadn't shown up to the local schoolhouse. She walks over to the property, then pushes her way past the front door, only to find herself greeted by a scene from a nightmare. Lying around the kitchen table in various states of mutilation were the bodies of William Browning's wife and 2 sons, all blown apart by buckshot. Deputies then stopped by Will Browning's place of work, the Metzger Electric Company, only to find that he hadn't shown up that day. Then they searched the area surrounding his home, including a little place known as Moonshine Creek, and that's where they found him. Browning's body was blue, his eyes were open and bloodshot, and there was a thick stream, a thweem. Growing up, your friends were Native Americans, so they didn't have to do that stuff. What's that? Count calories. Moonshine Creek, I know. It comes trickling down the rocks. About to watch Ballerina, my 3rd movie of the night. Checking in till it starts. Nice, dude. 3 movies in one night? That's badass. I actually admire that. Can you do a Jay Leno?
Yeah, I guess I can do a Jay Leno impression. Yeah, something like that, right? It's like, kind of has like a bit of a speech impediment, you know, kind of a little bit like, you know, Tucker Carlson, but, well, you know, just like more whiny and weird. And yeah, you know, you kind of like big chin. What's up with his chin?
Do I watch MHA? Oh, MMA? Why does all my characters have a lisp? Because I have a lisp. He's got the Habsburg chin. What's that? Is that like a family? Jay Leno comes from a long lineage of big-chinned beasts. Browning's body was blue. His eyes were open and bloodshot, and there was a thick stream of dried vomit running down his shirt. One hand still held onto the handle of the moonshine jug he'd filled his belly with, and in the other was a little wooden statue, no bigger than a child's doll. Grandpa Cy said the sheriff and his fellow deputies were already stretched thin at this point. They had a couple of boys out in Woodrow watching over the McLean house, and then a couple of more down in Willits watching over the Browning house. Everyone knew they had one hell of a week coming up, and that they'd be busy from dawn till dusk working the investigations. But little did they know, they had 2 more bodies just waiting to be found. A fisherman out near... Oh, yeah, that's what we're getting to. Jordan Peterson is the best to impersonate. He has so many funny sayings.
Yeah, you know, yeah, it's just like, clean your fucking cock off, man. Clean your bloody penis off. Get the jizz, get the couple of pubes. Fucking clean it, man. Get in the shower. Blow a load and get in the shower, man. It's freaking waiting for you any day now. I sound way too much like Kermit the Frog. Bloody.
Why does he say bloody? Like, where did he get bloody from? Like, I'm actually curious, like, where in his, like, vernacular did he pick up the term bloody? Because I know it's, like, a British thing. But why, like, a guy from Canada, why is a guy from Canada saying bloody?
Leonard Kenny.
Can I do Butters?
Yeah. Hey, fellers. Yep. Hey, fellers. Yeah, there's a fisherman. I didn't do nothing wrong, fellers.
Yeah, I can't really do. I don't even remember what Butters sounds like, honestly.
Hey, fellers.
Kyle. Kyle has a very distinct voice because it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's very specific to the creators of South Park.
Fuck you, fat boy.
You know, it's like,
hey, fuck you, fat boy.
Yeah, I can't really do it. Except for Quebec, do the Quebecians say bloody? Kyle's always screaming. I don't remember him screaming.
Fuck you, fat boy.
Yeah, I don't know. What's up, Queen? It's a bloody good word to use. It's not cursing in the New World, but it's in proper language to use across the pond, so he doesn't have to swear. Ah. Yeah, but it's just kind of pretentious. And I get it. Like, he's in academia, like, and he's also in psychology, like the realm of psychology. So you kind of have to be a little bit pretentious and up your own ass with a lot of the verbiage that you utilize. But I don't know. It's giving James Charles. Screaming like Tweak, but always very high-pitched and worked up. Oh, that's true. Jordan Peterson's in academia, the way I'm in the fucking Joy Luck Club. Well, I mean, he was like a professor and PhD and all that shit for years and a practicing whatever. It's just that he obviously divided people by joining the political sort of thing, and now I'm not really interested any further. Doesn't want to drop the F-bomb. Oh, okay. I mean, if that's his approach, that's fair. Hi, sisters. What's up, Alexa? I can't really see your profile pictures, but Beth and Alexa are on top of each other, and they kind of look like sisters. Sorry for bringing up Jordan Peterson. I just wanted to hear him. No, I don't care. I mean, there's people, like, listen, there's people that get worked up about the culture war and all that kind of cringe shit, you know what I mean? Like, and I get upset about it too, but like, I don't care, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many people that like completely tie their identity to it, and that the mention of like anybody that's on the quote unquote right, even though if you listen to Jordan Peterson, most of his shit's like essentially like moderate left a lot of the times. Like, he's not even really that like hardcore conservative. It's just, I think there's been such a shift in the Overton windows sometimes that, you know, everyone gets labeled a fucking like Nazi these days. It's kind of brain dead. So I'm one of the biggest leaders in the culture war right now. My culture war right now is to get everyone to just chill the fuck out. It's really not that big a deal. Grievances and grievances, y'all. It's kind of gone off the rails the last couple of years since his mental health thing. There's definitely been like a pretty big shift for sure, and I don't really, you know, the whole Daily Wire thing. Like, I'm not a big Daily Wire guy at all. It's just not me. Like, because it just feels it's so corporate. It's just like corporate nonsense. Like, you have to exist within this like specific paradigm of like cult-like thinking. That to me, if there actually is like a woke right. Like, the Daily Wire is the definition of like the woke right, you know what I mean? Like, it feels, if there's a cult on the left, and then there's definitively a cult on the right, and it exists within the Daily Wire spectrum, and I'm just not really into I don't really like cult-like thinking. How many letters do you get? Letters? I don't really get letters. That'd be nice, though. I wouldn't mind reading a letter. And then the first one I get is just like ricin. Just like a like an explosive device. Ah, beautiful. How many cigarettes? Yeah, I get anthrax. His daughter kind of went loony hooking up with that Tate guy. Yeah, did they actually have sex? Even though I did hear it was like quite odd of her to like go over there to like, what did she go over there for, to hang out with him for? That seemed like really weird. Like, couldn't they do it over a Zoom call? Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Anybody can do whatever they want. I don't care. Also, I saw a really funny meme the other day where the guy was saying that that Andrew Tate is essentially like everything Andrew Tate says in like his various clips that exist within social media is literally just lines from Dwight Schrute. He says the same stuff as Dwight Schrute. So like the one line was like, can you tell me who said this? And it was like, people ask me why I have machetes next to my bed. I tell them, I have machetes in like 3 different bedrooms throughout my house. Why wouldn't I have a machete on me? And I'll let you guys guess. Who do you think said that? Dwight Schrute or Andrew Tate? It was Andrew Tate. Sorry, I'm not going to wait around for the answer. Sorry. It was Andrew Tate, but it was just really funny. I was just like, that's such... I usually don't really hear people make, like, points that are genuinely unique. But the comparison of, like, Andrew Tate and the shit that he says... Because then it, like, cut to a scene where Dwight literally, like, shows... He's like, I keep multiple weapons throughout the office. And it, like, shows him with, like, the katanas. And it shows him with, like, the throwing stars. And it was literally, like, a 1-to-1 thing of like what Andrew Tate would say, and it was just so fucking funny. I enjoy all the characters in the modern political sphere. Shit's funny as fuck. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the more reasonable approach to have, because like if you align yourself too much with like these individuals, basically all they become to a lot of people are like these sort of like abstract cult like gurus, and like you don't want to follow gurus. You want to make up your own mind. Like, you might have things that you like on one side that you don't like about the other, and blah, 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 blah. But then you eventually come to the realization, like, wait, why the fuck do we only have 2 parties? And why do I have to choose one or the other? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it doesn't take that far of thinking to realize that to get angry about all of it is just, like, not worth your energy. The Andrew Tate impersonator. I remember the guy who does like he like looks like Andrew Tate, but he does like the dance, like the dun 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 dun. You know, he's like doing the belly dance. That's so fucking funny. Old Muffin, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. If CNN tells you to hate someone is making them look bad, chances are they're an amazing... I mean, it's up to you, man. I don't care anymore. I mean, I've come to the conclusion that the media is obviously bought and paid for by somebody, you know what I mean? And if they're not, why not? You know, that's what I would be doing if I was a moneyed interest, lobby group, billionaire. Like, I would go try to control narratives because that enables my progression within society or enables my perspective or whatever, you know? So you just have to kind of see through it and, I don't know, either don't care or make your own informed decisions, whatever. You saw he got charged with rape and trafficking in the UK. Who's that, Dwight Schrute? If you were a billionaire, you'd buy an elephant. You could, dude. That would be amazing, honestly. I would love to buy an elephant and just raise it from like little baby. Andrew Tate got caught. Yeah, I mean, fuck. You know, what the fuck? As far as I know, and human trafficking is supposedly not so good, so probably not a great thing to hang out with him. Us people have to see it one way. We as a species are so close-minded. If most people don't understand something, instead of learning, they fear it and want to denounce it. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's a survival mechanism. You know, if you're part of a tribe, and if we haven't really changed that much since the people of the tribe, it's a survival mechanism to like fit in. You believe one particular way because the tribe usually has one particular manner in which they think. It tends to be abstractly religious, and it tends to respond very aggressively to outside perspectives. And yeah, I mean, so it totally makes sense. I mean, that's why they call it tribalism, and it, you know, sucks. It freaking sucks, man. We have to rise above it. We have to drink from the DMT river, man. Late stage capitalism, bro, this is early stage capitalism. Wait till you see the late stage. It's gonna be fucking Coca-Cola meteorites. I don't get it. Didn't Tate convert to Islam, but he still drinks some booze, doesn't he? I mean, all that shit. How many fucking, Christians do you know that don't follow the teachings? I mean, how many Muslims do you know that don't? Every Muslim I've ever met still fucks, still drinks. Well, maybe they don't drink. They won't drink, they won't eat pig, but then they'll fuck every chick that walks in front of them, you know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't matter if someone converts to a fucking religion, like, nobody follows their religion. It's all just smoke and mirror nonsense. This is Dead Mall Series Capitalism. Yeah, dude, I hate going into a dead mall. It's so sad. Just gotta turn it into a big fucking casino. Anti-religion? Dude, just because I say one thing doesn't make me anti that, I'm just fucking... I'm pointing out patterns I see in people, Yeah, let me have my free speech before they cut my head off and put it on a pike. It's actually fascinating, one of the things about, I didn't realize how much in the United Kingdom, this, you remember, do you ever see the show Tudors? It's kind of like that, Shakespearean times, 1600s, and just this, sort of back and forth, fight between, Protestants and Catholics. It's just, a really fascinating thing. They were just, murdering each other in droves, 300 executions a year, crazy shit like that. It's the same kind of subdivision of Shia, Sunni, Muslim type stuff, or various interpersonal conflicts between cartel groups. It's all just politics. It's literally all just people using these religious structures or power structures to gain power, Yeah, Northern Ireland. I mean, I assume it all extends to that eventually. Just want to live in an O'Neill cylinder with robot butlers and cloned sushi. That does sound yummy. A bit more stabby now. Yeah. I guess a little bit less stabby now, wouldn't it? Or what are we talking about? Now we use the guns. But even back then, 1600s, I didn't even realize that they had such effective firearms. Who should I look up? Sorry. So crazy to see in real time a kind person expressing something online as someone saying they're anti the opposition of the thing. Why do you people go, well, no. I mean, what's the old saying where it's oh, you say you pancakes? Well, that means you must hate waffles, right? That old deal. It's there will always be some sort of narrative to create you or cast you in the most sort of evil light. And it's not to put down the person that said that, because obviously they were just chit-chatting, but it's just, I don't know. We just have to realize that every individual we speak to isn't a Republican or a liberal. They're a nuanced individual who's just caught in an unfortunate dichotomy. You know what I mean? It's a weird state that we exist in, and everyone needs to just treat each other as those individuals, Philosopher Wiggles, thank you for the one. Thank you, dude. Lab-grown Labratussi. If there weren't so many Nazis in northern PA, I would move up there and go off the grid. Where are the Nazis at? Never met them before. I used to be an atheist, but if religion can help people stay calm and kind, I'm all for it. One of the first psycho papers in uni was about religion and intolerance of uncertainty. Yeah, I mean, I think religion has benefited me to a large degree, especially in my younger years, of just sort of, I don't know, adhering to an invisible God, adhering and behaving, I guess. And it's unfortunate, but it does obviously keep people under control. A fisherman out near Lake Junaluska. I gotta see how you say this one. Junaluska. Oh, Cherokee. How to say Junaluska. Juniata. Pure-hearted. Joel, you definitely need to look up Michael Foucault. He talks about all this stuff you're talking about. Yeah, maybe I don't need to look him up because I already know it. No, I'm just kidding. I'll look it up. Chicken pokey. Okay, Junaluska. Okay, sweet. Sorry, just making sure. It was hard to believe as a kid because my dad was so hardcore Christian yet so abusive at the same time. Just constant projection and lack of self-awareness is in my main experience religion. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, you're totally right as far as the projection, kind of like using it as a shield. Like it's a pretty common psychological profile in some people, especially those who struggle with alcoholism, abuse, all that kind of stuff. It's just a way to help them sleep at night, I suppose. That doesn't mean and in fact, I would say the majority of Christians I've met in my life are some of the nicest people ever, but obviously there are many unfortunate individuals that exist within those sort of groups as well, bad and good and everywhere, A fisherman out near Lake Junaluska was walking along the shore near where the A fisherman out near Lake Junaluska was walking along the shore near where the Turnville Bridge is today when he saw something bobbing up and down near the water's edge. He got a little closer, then realized what he was looking at. It was a body, and he didn't realize it at the time, but it was the corpse of one of his son's closest friends, a boy named Arlo Macklemore. Golden Girlie, love you too, dude. Good to see ya. A boy named Arlo Macklemore. Within the hour, 2 deputies had been delegated to stand guard over the scene while they tried to figure out what had happened, and the only thing that made sense was young Arlo having taken a tumble from the bridge while he was either drunk or exhausted. There was always the chance he'd been pushed, of course, so one of the deputies went up onto the bridge to look for signs of a struggle. He found something all right, but it wasn't any evidence of a fight or an attack. Sitting there, on one of the thick wooden guardrails, was a little wooden statue just like the one found by McLean, and the one in the hand of old Will Browning. Oh. This is all one sentence, okay. Oh my god, this is still going. What's the weirdest thing someone sent you? The weirdest... I guess no one really has... I've never received like a physical possession from anybody. I guess I get weird stories over email. Do you watch the End Times Productions too, Joel? They're in the neighborhood of suspicious observers. Great info there. I have not. No, I never... Is that like a religious thing? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. I work as a utility locator and I'm currently on call overnight. Your videos help keep the work interesting. Thank you, Sammy. Good to see you. Just like anything, people couldn't take anything too far. Politics, religion, their job, or whatever else. Yeah, and it's weird. It's weird whenever, like... I guess the strangest thing is just kind of being like an acolyte, to be a follower of said politics, said religion. It's like you're really not even gaining anything by arguing with others. Have a discussion, like this is fine, whatever. But the ones that like just get in your face, it's like, I can see why religion and politics attracts so many mentally ill people, because it gives them sort of a moral excuse to essentially exhibit those like levels of mental illness, to exert their degree of internalized psychopathy, whatever it is. Hence why in like politics and religion you see so many people like call someone a heretic, or you see someone call someone a Nazi or something, communist or whatever, something bad, because it justifies in their mind their already pre-existing, presupposition or pre-existing inclination to probably wanting to hurt somebody or take something away from them. And, religion and politics gives them an excuse to feel morally superior as they do so. Ash with the 20 says, "Sup, Jolster? Last night I listened to the whole Vega Libre album by Secede, and man, oh man, curious to hear how you came to discover this artist and what the album means to you." Yeah, so so my favorite album, and my friend showed me this back in high school. It's Secede, so it's that same artist, but the album is called Born in a Tropical, what am I saying? It's called Trishasla. But the one song you can look up from it is called Born in a Tropical Swamp, and you should be able to find the full album from there, because the words are kind of weird. But so then I listened to all their other stuff, and all of his other stuff was just like so all over the place and different, but just all of it just absolutely was perfectly mixed and like fantastically interesting and cool, and it like led me down a really deep rabbit hole of like what they called like IDM, or intelligent dance music. I don't, it's kind of pretentious what they call it that, but it's just so good, and I love it. I bet you wish you were born in a tropical swamp. I wish, dude. I want to be a little slime tadpole in a tropical swamp and slowly make my way into a big lizard man. Try math rock. Why does that sound familiar? Yeah, dance music for intellectuals, actually. Way less of that, the IRL, though. Most of the internet is bots, thought control and guided agendas, patents on so much about those DARPA projects. That makes a lot of sense, too, because, like, I'll be honest with you, most of my perceptions of what I feel is politics is literally what? It's the internet, and it's the fucking television. So if like there is some sort of like massive, distribution information apparatus feeding me my reality all the time, I'm going to perceive the world out there where there's grass to be touched way different than what is actually out there. And it's true. It's like, you see people kind of like arguing online all the time. It could be fake, could be, bots, could just be mentally ill people. And then you go outside and then everyone, it's the mailman, and he's like, "Hey there, how's it going?" "It's going good, how are you?" "I'm gonna kill you because you're a Nazi." "What?" And he drives off. "There's a bomb in that one letter. I left it for you." You like Tool? I like Tool. I went to a Tool concert. There's something about Tool where it's like really hard for me to like, I know it sounds stupid, but it's really hard for me to differentiate the sounds between Tool songs. Like I listen to a lot of Tool music, and a lot of it sounds, I don't want to say the same, but it's just really hard for me to like just feel like everything is like its own existing track. If you got to be stoned. Yeah, the way I always describe Tool is like if I'm high as shit on heroin and I'm dying inside of like an ice bathtub because I tried to like, get off of it briefly or something, but for some reason I took it and then immediately told myself I should jump in an ice bathtub, but I was just high as shit. And now I'm actually dying because I'm in an iced bathtub. That's Tool is what I would hope would play in the background as I slowly pass into purgatory or something. Archangel Mike, thank you for typing that out there. That's good. Yeah. I like the omnipotence paradox, which poses the idea that if God is all-powerful, he should be able to create a stone that he cannot move, but by doing so he proves he is not all-powerful. Yeah, I had a friend the other day that was like convinced that the Christian Bible God is actually not like, or it doesn't claim itself to be perfect just based on like how things transpire, which kind of made sense to me, but I was also thinking like, doesn't it also like sit there and say that he is or whatever? But I guess maybe it's not like overtly direct. I don't know. But it would kind of make some sense, I guess, if like a God that created everything was just kind of like,
oh, fuck. Let's just throw whatever out there and hope it works out. I don't know, Rick.
Tool is more about color than notes. It's about synesthesia. Tool is made for me. I agree with that, actually. I agree that Tool is one of those things where you got to be on a lot of drugs to enjoy, and I think that's the perfect way to do it. Am I watching Squid Game? No. Sadly. I watched season 1, that's all I could really handle. But if Mr. Beast does another one, I'll watch that one. I think God is perfect, but Jesus isn't, or something. I'm not a theologist, though. Yeah, I don't know. It's, people always say in the Christian church that Jesus lived like a perfect life, and like that was the whole point of his sacrifice was the fact that he lived a perfect human life, and then that was then the best sacrifice to God, him being crucified. And then that's when God like looks away from Jesus and he's like, why hath thou forsaken me? Because he's like taking his presence away from Jesus because he can't look upon him with all that sin, cast upon him or whatever. I don't know. It's all fucking crazy. I was told God and Jesus are supposed to be the same entity. They technically are, right? It's like the Trinity concept of like God as like the Godhead, and then Jesus as like the Word or something, or like the human extension of God. But then the Holy Spirit is like basically the thing of God, the spiritual aspect of God that can like leave the domain of God and like enter into people as like a temple. But then he also like did it for the first time by entering into Jesus. I don't fucking know, dude. That's just the shit that I remember back in the day of going to church a lot. Yeah, I guess none of our brains really can on anything. My dad basically thought he was God to use scripture very liberally. Yeah, I mean, you see that so many times in like cults and, serial killers and all these people, like many stories, and they just use the Bible and all that kind of stuff as like reasons to commit negative things or do bad stuff or perceive themselves as such. Save Majebus. I'm a Christian and the nature of God is very complex stuff for sure. Faux show. Jehovah's Witnesses believe the Archangel Michael is Jesus in human form. Yeah, I don't know much about Jehovah's Witnesses, except I don't think they can eat cookies. Sitting there, on one of the thick wooden guardrails was a little wooden statue, just like the one found by McLean, and the one in the hand of old William. And the one in the hand of old Will Browning, who'd gunned down his family, then filled his belly with moonshine. Sitting there, on one of the thick wooden guardrails, was a little wooden statue, just like the one found by McLean, and the one in the hand of old Will Browning, who'd gunned down his family, then filled his belly with bad moonshine. In the weeks that followed, the Haywood County Sheriff's Department, Grandpa Cy included, worked tirelessly to try and piece together the events surrounding each grouping of murders. Arlo wasn't married, so assuming the presence of the little wooden statue meant that he too had taken a life before ending his own, folks started to wonder just who the unlucky party had been. But when they searched his residence, there was no wandering anymore. Arlo's sister, Mariana McElmore, was lying in her brother's bed. Holy crap, we got 5 more pages to go. Do you know using the word of God to do evil is actually taking the Lord's name in vain, not just saying the name? A lot of people think saying Jesus Christ is bad. Yeah, I do remember like in vain essentially means like you're doing it for nothing or something like that. Or you're, I don't know, like a fake religious leader or something. So like like Kenneth Copeland, like a lot of people think he's just like one of those mega pastor fakery, guys. So like they would say he's taking Jesus' name in vain because he's, essentially using it in vain, but really just to gain like worldly possessions or whatever and all that kind of stuff. If you look at Bible from the idea that these were real people, not ethereal, angelic type, otherworldly, inconceivable entities who were the leaders and had the greatest technology and most influence. Wait, sorry, what are you talking about? You will see it much differently. Like who wrote it, you mean? Kenneth Copeland is straight up demon vibes. Yeah, man, he looks like a serpent man. Like he looks like he's wearing like a human's face when he looks at you. Yeah, it's like his skin is so thick that it genuinely looks like it hides his eyes like a Saint Bernard. I want to believe in God, but I have so much trauma attached to it. It would be helpful to believe that you don't actually die. Yeah, I guess like the people that have gone through the trauma, because I've seen a lot of like people have every one of my Catholic friends, they always like hated religion, right? Because Catholicism is one of those things where it's like rife with abuse, it's rife with like legalism and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it seems like the only really true way to overcome that trauma but somehow still be inclined towards an all-knowing, loving God is to like find a manner in which to connect with some said God, you know what I mean? So it would have to be like your own personal experience that you go out of your way to be with them or something like that. I don't know what that would be. Probably step one would be finding a community that's not lame, I guess, that participates in that realm, you know. I gotta go. I'm gonna continue my 986th rewatch of Always Sunny, anticipation of the new season. Peace. I'll see you, meow. Yeah, it's such a good show. Just looked up Kenneth Copeland. Now I'm frightened. Yeah, he's spooky. There's so many false teachers and prophets in here leading so many people astray. Mike Winger on YouTube is a great teacher on YouTube. He always anyone question about Christianity. Yeah, it's tough, man. I remember when I was like in college, you know, when I was like 21, I'm 35, you know, and like I was just like bouncing all over the place, like, you know, trying to find individuals, but I realized it's just like you can't put your faith in like another human to like lead you to the promised land or whatever, or lead you to peace. You thought I were 33. Nah, mate, I just turned 35. Well, you could be 33 if you wanted me to be. I don't know. I'm essentially the same fucking person I was at 33, I think. For the most part. I'm pretty much dead. You just turned 31. Nice, dude. Copeland is connected to Tyler Perry. I guess I wouldn't be surprised. Tyler Perry seems like someone who would start like some mega church. I have a thing about going to church. Some people go to church at the place I volunteer. Yeah, I mean, check it out, you know, like see what you think, you know. It's good to be part of a community, especially a community that genuinely follows the teachings of Christ and isn't like judgy. They're not mean. They're not like looking to take anything from you, you know what I mean? Like, and those people, I've met a lot of Christians like that, and they are good people, and it's refreshing. It's dorky, you know, and it's very dorky. It's like middle school side hug, you know, like awkward jokes, like not that funny. Like you're not going to find any like really good stand-up comedian Christians, well, that say any like actual good jokes, but you know, beyond that, like the people like are nice. The cribbage start with the cribbage community. You have tattoos, get nasty looks in churches. I guess it just depends. I know some churches are like, it just depends on what kind of church you go to. Some are obviously don't give a shit. Whose birthday is it? Garrett's? Happy birthday, Garrett. Start the cribbage cult. First I gotta learn how to play the game. Did I get my senior discount yet? I do. Off of ammunition. Arlo's sister, Mariana McElmore, was lying in her brother's bed. Arlo had killed her gutted her, and was halfway to skinning her corpse before he decided to just stop and walk out to Lake Juna. And was halfway to skinning her corpse before he decided to just stop and walk out to Lake Junaluska. Then, whatever happened at that bridge, Arlo took a tumble off it and ended up breaking his neck. The deputies worked those cases for months, with barely any rest at all, until they finally came to the conclusion that there was nothing that could be done. Lenny McLean helped as best as he was able, told them everything he could about Lily Beth, until, of course, he realized he knew next to nothing about her. Somehow, they had been talking for months, almost daily, and he didn't know where she was from, the name of her family, or where she lived around the time of the murders. Deputies then went door to door all over the country, asking folks if they knew anyone fitting Lily Beth's description of a red-haired beauty with piercing green eyes. The sheriff didn't think it'd be long before they found someone who remembered seeing a girl like that. But he was wrong. The only person in the whole of Haywood County that seemed aware of Lily Beth's existence was Lenny McLean, or at least, the only man living, of course. The idea that this mysterious Lily Beth had talked to not one, but 3 different men into murdering their families was next to impossible. But considering they all happened on the same night, and that each man ran into one of those strange wooden statues, it was clear to all that each crime was connected. Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. Gotta figure out a recipe for Benji beef. Joel, thoughts on senior citizens being allowed to drive? I think they should have to take the test again and get reevaluated. I do agree. There's some times where like even today, I'm not even joking, like I saw an old man on my way to my barber, and I saw an old man next to me, and you just kind of get that feeling as soon as you see them where you're just like, yeah, that guy shouldn't be fucking driving. And it's not like he did anything that just necessitated him being a bad driver, but it was like, I don't know, just gazing upon him, I was just like, is that a zombie? You know what I mean? It was Winston from Overwatch. But yeah, I have no qualms with like having to like re-up your license or take a driver's test every, what? Like when do you think? So you take it at 16, right? Or that's when you earliest you can get it. Maybe every 16 years. Take it again when you're 32. And then what's 32? Take it again when you're 48. Then take it again when you're 90. My fiance and I T-boned a 90... Wait, what? My fiance and I T-boned a 93-year-old lady named Esther who ran a stop sign. Oh, she was fine, but damn, her car did a full 180. Damn. So that's your fault. You tried to kill an old lady. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, they can't turn their fucking head. Their, like, entire fucking cervical spine is just, like, fused together. You know what I mean? What's up? No frowns. Those SRs are so doped up on medication after 70 it would be every 2 years. Oh, that's a good point, too. Yeah. Definitely more frequently as you get older. She was in shock, of course, but damn, my fiance's truck is a tank. Yeah. He just turned her into mist. Turned her into, like, her ashes. You pre-ashed her. Still driving at 93. That is kind of insane. Oh, man. It is weird, though. It was so funny, because, like, a couple days ago, I went to, I went to meet my buddy for, some lunch. And as we were at this, like, diner, it was all fucking old people, right? Because who the fuck's going to lunch on a goddamn, what day was it? Like a Tuesday? Monday? And, like, I just remember my, like, you know, my back had hurt or whatever. And obviously it's getting better, thank God, but it was just funny to think, like, whenever it was like a movie, I was standing there waiting to be seated, and then like two old ladies kind of like walked by me. They were both like 4'5", and like the one had a cane, and all of a sudden she stops and looks to her friend. She's like, now hold on, this right leg, it starts to spasm a little bit and just kind of locks up on me, and it's kind of painful, and okay, it's good to go now. And then her friend was just like, what? You know, but the whole time I'm just staring at them like, oh my fucking God. Like, I always just thought that like old people came from like eggs, you know what I mean? Like, I just assumed they were made in like a factory, and you just, like, they were just dispersed about the, you know, the map as like NPCs, right? But if you really sit there and think about it, like, an old person used to be young, they used to be like hot, they used to be funny, they used to be athletic and cool, they used to be us, you know what I mean? And now that is what we are destined to become. And I guess, like, as long as we can have a good sense of humor about it and try to like take care of ourselves, we can mitigate it from being that, you know, too bad. But then it was funny, like, as I heard her say that, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I like looked to my right and like out the window, another old dude who shouldn't have been fucking driving, must have been like in his 90s, pulls up, gets out of his car, and he has like a fucking suitcase next to him. He has a suitcase next to him, and then coming out of the suitcase is a tube that leads up to his face, and it's like an oxygen thing he carries with himself. And it was just like the timing. I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know. I mean, oxygen does sound sick, I guess. Like, it does. I remember like some people say you get like a good high from it. You never got to be athletic or cool. You still got time. He's driving to his burial plot. Yeah, he's going to crash into somebody, going to T-bone somebody at a stop sign and send them to their burial plot. My mom has almost had many elderly clients almost run straight into her salon, mixing up the brake and dude, your mom should get, like, see if she can get one of those, like, huge, there's, like, these random, like, huge cement slabs, you know what I'm talking about? And just, like, put that, like, sort of in between the parking spaces and, like, her store, just on the off chance she might get fucking mogged one day. Yeah, a suitcase filled with fent, yeah. What if that's what you that's gonna be the future. That's gonna be fucking Gen Z rolling up to their fucking Waffle House with a vape oxygen tank mask going right to their face. What's up, Scott E., my dude? But considering they all happened on the same night. And that each man ran into one of those strange wooden statues, it was clear to all that each crime was connected in some way. Grandpa Cy said that the sheriff figured that it had to be a group of women, all working on a different man on a long con that ended in slaughter. But that left everyone asking, what was the con? Nothing appeared to be stolen from any of the crime scenes, while Lenny McLean himself said Lily Beth hadn't asked him for a single red cent, not even one time. All these women seemed interested in, if indeed it was a group, and all these women seemed interested in, if in fact it was a group and not an individual, was talking. All these women seemed interested in was okay, like all they seemed interested in was talking to Macklemore into murdering their loved ones. Is this a real story? Once when I was going to church, an old lady went into the parking lot the wrong way and T-boned me as I was getting out of the car. Thank God I didn't have any body part. Yeah, dude, oh my God. I think that would just be like, fill me with such a large degree of rage, knowing that I just got fucking like thrown into a body cast because of some old person. How long's the story? Yeah, usually we go for about 3 or 4 hours for a full stream. All these women seemed interested in, if in fact it was a group and not an individual, was talking Macklemore, Browning, and McLean into murdering their loved ones, because after that, they disappeared with only a single trace of them left behind, those little wooden statues. Now naturally, the sheriff and his boys were very interested in catching up with the mysterious Lily Beth, but the district judge didn't give a good goddamn who she was. Lenny McLean swore on the Holy Bible that he and he alone had taken the lives of his wife and infant daughter, so the judge decided that he and he alone would sit in the electric chair. McLean's attorney, his family... Wait, what? McLean, Mr. Clean. McLean! Oh, I'm saying McLean. Ah, fuck, McLean. Whatever. Yeah, YouTube never notifies. I don't fucking know. Dude, it's hard to get notifications to go out for like normal YouTube videos anymore. All they want to do is push their AI slop. Oh no, what if YouTube thinks I'm AI slop? Do you think that's possible? I hope not. It's okay. Sometimes I don't really want to read. I just want to chat with chat because it's more fun. You get my notification? Okay. That's weird. I don't know. Like, I literally don't know how to, like, what is, like, the foolproof, works every time notification. Hey, Ray. Thank you. And not Jackie Chan with the 5 says, you ever finished Entropy 2? Sup? I have not, dude. I'm sorry. I haven't played a video game since, like, starting the Mr. Ballin' No Sleep stuff. I just, like, haven't played video games in a while. And it makes me sad. That's a good point. I should all personally send you guys a text message. Hello. I'll send someone to all of your houses. Squid Game Season 2? No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. McLean's attorney, his family, hell, even the sheriff all thought he could have qualified for an insanity defense. But since he never sought to do anything but confess to what he'd done, the judge had no choice but to hand down the only punishment that fit. The death penalty. That sounded weird. The death penalty. Why does that sound strange? The Jehovah's Witnesses. That'd be good. Welcome to the... What do they call Jehovah's Witnesses, like, church? Do they call it something specific? The Church of Latter-day Hovahs. I think Latter-day Saints is the, I think that's Mormons, right? Church of Latter-day Saints is Mormons. They call it the meetings. Oh, okay, so like, yeah. The Pizza Bomber of Erie, Pennsylvania. I never heard about that before. Do we listen to Hella Jay-Z at church? Yeah, we better. Hova. You know what's weird is, like, I wonder whenever... I know everybody's kind of forgotten about Diddy, but, like, it did really seem like Jay-Z was, like, pretty tight with Diddy, right? And, you know, fucking LeBron James and all of those guys. And I'm just, like, curious. I mean, I guess there is a reason why it would be, like, taken out of the media. But I'm just, like, curious how that what that connection is, and if we'll ever, like, find out about that stuff, or if it's just gonna, like, go under the radar like the Epstein stuff. Did he or didn't he? Set off fireworks to leave the ground in the state of... Set off fireworks that leave the ground. Oh, that's lame. Honestly, I don't even fuck with fireworks anymore. I've seen like way too many videos of people just like fucking around with even like the sparkler bullshit. They'll like light off a snake and it just like, it's like a faulty one from China and it just like blows off their index finger. Oh fuck, oh fuck. And just like the shock, you know, you've seen those videos, it's like there's so much shock in their face, you know, like, oh fuck, oh fuck. They're just like missing their hand. And I'm just like, I'm not fucking around with that shit anymore. I remember I had friends that would take like the really tiny firecrackers and just like put them in their like mouth. I actually don't know if they did that or not. That might have just been a video that I've seen. But let's pretend I had friends that were really badass and had a mustache. And then they would do that and then it would come out like smoke out of their nostrils. When you were stationed in North Carolina, we set off plenty of fireworks on base. Yeah, but that's because you guys are the military. You can just like drop bombs and it's legal. Us lowly citizens, we have to fucking play with cracklers. My favorite firework, the crackler. And then it just goes out because it's like also has like piss inside of it. It just puts itself out with piss. Joel is like a millionaire. Bro, you don't know me. But since he never sought to do anything but confess to what he'd done, the judge had no choice but to hand down the only punishment that fit, the death penalty. But McLean didn't mind. You don't know me, I'm a trillionaire. The first trillionaire YouTuber. Is Mr. Beast a billionaire? Like, is his net worth actually $1 bazillion grillion dollars? Mr. Breast net worth. In 2023, Time named him one of the world's 100 most influential people. He ranked his first on the Forbes list for the highest paid YouTube creator in 2024 and 2025. Net worth was estimated as $1 billion, making him the only billionaire under 30 to have not inherited his wealth. That's fucking crazy. That's actually crazy. How are you gonna be a fucking billionaire and the only thing you made is like shitty chocolate and like a disgusting cheeseburger? And like knockoff Pokemon toys? Like actually, like how does he not pay some people? There's no way, bro. He's always doing like some side hustle, but the only shit that he's like thought up in his head was fucking snacks. I've got it. I'll make a fucking disgusting chocolate bar. It's not disgusting, it's just not that good. So unfair. Well, I mean, listen. You just gotta start something really cool. You'll do it. He's in the cabal, Joel. Wake up! Wake up! Yeah, but if you're in the cabal, usually the cabal like invents something cool and like then gives it to you and says like, all right, pretend like you invented this, and you're like, all right. But they gave him like a fucking like recipe for a Big Mac that is covered in like Burger King foot lettuce, Mr. Beast foot lettuce, the last thing that you want in your Mr. Beast burger is Chris Tyson. Is he a kids performer? Yeah, he is. Fucking yeah, he's a YouTube channel, I think. You're going on Wiki Feet because he's actually crazy, like sociopathic kind of crazy. I mean, he doesn't have a very human smile. You know what I mean? Did we discuss Liver King yet? No, but I did see Liver King is probably on drugs and seems to have been arrested at some point, saying he was going to kill Joe Rogan. Joseph Rogan, I am going to kill you. Is Hood Mr. Beast real? He's very real. That's what we need. He needs to oh my god. Dude, if I was Mr. Beast, I would not give a fuck. I would be Hood Mr. Beast so fast. And then if he doesn't at some point in the next year not give a fuck and just like a Halloween episode, Hood Mr. Beast, just put a fucking gold chain on, grills, tracksuit, side hat. That would go so hard, bro. Can you imagine the edits too? Like some sick ass fucking hip hop beats. The comments on some of his IG posts are hilarious. What does it say? I'm obsessed with Mr. Beast. I'm not obsessed with Mr. Beast. I actually don't really talk about him that much. But I just think that he needs to basically take the chocolate bar, put that into the burger. Boom. Chocolate Beast burger. Hello? Why has that not been done? Should go full Brandon Buckingham. What did Brandon do? What he does have is a very vague origin. I thought he just let's look back. Because I remember looking through Mr. Beast's oldest videos, and do you think he's AstroTurf by YouTube or Mr. Breast? Lose 100 pounds, win 25 trillion kisses. Alright, videos, oldest. Worst Minecraft, Saw Trap. Wow, that has 30 million. Harry Potter mod in Minecraft. So he was playing Minecraft like everybody did 12 years ago. Playing Pokemon. And then I vaguely recall at one point he was reading every word in the dictionary, right? And look at this one. 50k video views, epic sauce. Epic sauce. You guys want to listen to Epic Sauce? This is Mr. Beast 11 years ago.
What?
Playing Call of Duty, saying bad words.
I just hit 50,000 video views on YouTube, in case you didn't piece that together, which is pretty awesome. That's an epic milestone. I have 50,000 plus
He's actually
views
just a
on
little
YouTube,
chipmunk.
which is awesome, amazing, nice.
Epic sauce.
Yeah, I hit record. I don't really know what else to say. I hit 50,000 views. I'm pretty happy. I have no clue what gameplay you're watching right now. I'm talking at a black screen. I'll probably grab some random video that makes no sense at all. But anyways, I hit 50,000 views, and chances are not many people are going to watch this video, but I haven't really been up.
All right, whatever. That was probably my favorite video of his. It's the most epic sauce video. Okay. At that point, his balls had just dropped earlier that day. But McLean didn't mind. He wanted to die. Then after many years sitting on death row, he got his wish. No one at the Haywood County Sheriff's Department ever did find anyone named Lilybeth living in the area, nor did they find anyone quite fitting her description either. And so naturally, it became something of a legend among sheriffs and deputies both past and present. Then one day, my grandpa Cyrus is up visiting an old-timer who used to be sheriff back when he was a boy, and he's talking to him about the 3 family members that happened back in family murders. Why are their origins gamers? I think everybody kind of starts on YouTube as some type of gaming thing, Everybody wants to do the PewDiePie route or whatever. Yeah, he did start at 15, which is crazy. Yeah, I remember didn't he? I don't know. He just skipped classes so he could make YouTube videos. He was obsessed, and I don't know, it seems like he's still obsessed. It's just got to be tough for him because, well, not tough for him, but it's got to be well, what the fuck am I saying? Actually, it's probably so fucking cool being able to just travel around the world and just make stupid fucking videos and shit all the time. But at the same time, that's a lot to coordinate instead of just reading the spookies right here. I honestly don't even really know how I would take my transition to my channel to further stuff outside of just long form video essays or some shit. Which I guess is kind of like what Saturn Soul is attempting to do. Like actually take the content and show that we can do video stuff. Do whatever you want, like not answer a phone. What does that mean? Are you calling me? You want me to hire you? What would you do? Would you coordinate big Mr. Beast trips? Would you be able to coordinate the Squid Games of Let's Read? Hey, Mr. Let's Read, I've been wanting to ask you and finally got you live so I could ask, can I have the eerie song that you use transition from story to another? The audio makes me sleep. Oh, that like... So it's from, I believe it's from Epidemic Sounds. Yeah, so it's from... Let's see. It's called capital ES _ Dark Element 2 dash SFX producer from Epidemic Sounds. So it's like a stock footage site. But I don't really know how you would get access to it outside of that site. And that was like so many years ago. Do I still do content stuff on Chilling? No. Just with, what's it called? Twist of History and No Sleep. And who knows, maybe more as we continue to grow. I did get a very promising email from a talent group who, which is cool, but we can't, like, we're not, they're going, it was funny, they messaged me and then they're like, also we're going on vacation, so I don't get to talk to them till like July 15th or something like that. Would I collab with Mr. Beast? Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be fucking sweet. Just go on his show. Go eat his chocolate burger. Eat his chocolate starfish for 250,000 kisses. Alright. Then one day Grandpa Sai is visiting. Oh, there we are. You want to buy an audiobook? Oh, I don't know, man. It would be like way too expensive just because it would probably take me forever to do it, and I would not enjoy doing it. Unless it's like the coolest book ever. What competition would you do perfectly on a Mr. Beast vid? I guess like maybe like hitting homeless people with like bats. If they had that, maybe that would be like something we could try. Then one day, my grandpa Sai is up visiting an old-timer who used to be sheriff back when he was a boy, and he's talking to him about the 3 family murders that happened back in October of 1923. This old sheriff wanted to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, start to finish, kind of like what I've done here. And then while he's telling the story, Grandpa Cyrus reaches into his pocket and pulls out one of those little wooden statues. Since they had the other 2 locked up in evidence, he figured it wouldn't do any harm to take one for a wander, especially if it was wrapped up in a piece of cloth so no one could leave the fingerprints on it. But then when he shanded. A buttersock not good enough. I think we can make it work. I'm just kidding. Guys, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to beat up homeless people with a bat. Alright? Stop taking that so seriously. Have I had Feastables? I have. It's actually pretty good. Hi, kitty. Oh, dude, he wants attention. He's like full on falling into my like legs. Dude, this cat, I don't even know if I would get a cat after Pradeep passes away at 33 because he's just too good, man. He's just genuinely like better than any cat I've ever interacted with. And maybe I made him that way, but he's freaking cool, man. Oop, stepped on his tail. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I can't see you. You're dark as midnight. Okay. $33, yeah. He's gonna be pretty much the Jesus Christ of cats. But then, when he handed the old sheriff the little wooden doll, and that old-timer unwrapped the cloth, he studied it for a moment before his face dropped. Grandpa Cy said the old sheriff looked up at him, ashen-faced, and then asked him to repeat the names of the men who'd murdered their families. Grandpa told him all the 3 names, and then the old-timer asked if he knew the maiden name of McLean's mother, McLean.
Motherfucker! Son of a fucking bitch!
What genre? He's a black cat. Medium fur, I guess. One day a new baby will perhaps be the reincarnate of Pradeep, perhaps. That's a good point. I honestly would not be opposed to paying a large sum of money to clone him, if that's possible. Alright, don't you love dogs? I love dogs, bro. Honestly, that'd probably be the next creature that I get as a dog. But I love cats now too. But I didn't love cats before Pradeep. Not that I disliked them, it was just, you know, they were a bit odd. 50K? Alright, never mind. Sorry, Pradeep. We're gonna get an orange one. Halloween colors. What kind of dog? I love all dogs, honestly. You know, they all go to heaven. Grandpa told him all 3 names. Then the old-timer asked if he knew the maiden name of McLean's mother. Grandpa had talked to members of his mother's family in the aftermath of the murders, but he couldn't remember their family name. That's when the old-timer asked him, "What is McRae?" Grandpa nodded. Or was it McRae? That's when the old-timer asked him, "Was it McRae?" Grandpa nodded. It had been McRae. And then when he asked the old-timer how he knew that, this is what he said. Back when the old sheriff was just starting out as deputy, so way back in the 1890s, he helped investigate the murder of a spinster who lived out in the sticks. Holy shit, are we doing another flashback? A flashback within a fucking a flashback within a flashback. I don't know why that's so funny. It shouldn't be, since people were getting murdered, but oh my god. If you get a husky, you'll be wearing it, sing the song of his people's life. Yeah, I grew up with an Alaskan Malamute, and he would talk. He would say, "I love you, I love you." I would convince myself he's saying "I love you," but dude, that dog was nuts. That dog was genuinely nuts, because he would be able to kill groundhogs like lickety-split. Not a scratch on him. Just immediately like get to its like neck. It was impressive. Hey, thanks, Mr. Lester. I checked out, and this sound effects producer has nice sounds found on YouTube. Could you tell me the sound you're using as background sound right now? This is kind of celestial one. Well, this is from Simon, who does my audio stuff on the podcast, and he goes by Inect, Inekt. You should go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He has a lot of stuff like this, but I don't know if he specifically has this track on there. What's up, Vince? And I see Jeremy. What's up, Jeremy? But the videos are way too many ads now, especially when it's mid-story. Dude, I know, man. Like, YouTube changed something, and I just, what's Simon's last name again? I don't know what Simon's last name is, but his musical, like, alias is Inekt, Inekt. Did you got one of the guy named Sovereign? Wait, what? Do you got one about the guy named Sovereign on the Appalachian Trail? I'm not sure. What's his channel? Yes, Inekt, Inekt. Yep. But when the old sheriff was just starting out as deputy, so way back in the 1890s, he helped investigate the murder of a spinster who lived out in the sticks. The woman, who couldn't have been any older than 40, had been in Waynesville selling bunches of flowers she picked. And then, when she had enough money, she bought a bottle of whiskey from the town's general store and then drank it while wandering back home on foot. Next morning, someone found her near the dirt track that led to her home. She'd been stripped, robbed of her dignity and purity. Oh, and purity. They got both. So what, Anect made your Be Right Back song too? No, that's Secede. So that was the guy I was talking about earlier, that the Trishasla. I'm actually working with, I actually commissioned, I love his music so much that I reached out to him on Bandcamp, I think. And he actually got back to me on Bandcamp when I offered to like fund his next album, because he hasn't made any music in probably like 200 years. And so I was like, dude, I will literally pay for you to make a new album, and pay like first now, and half later when you're done. And he was like, all right. And so you can hear some of the stuff actually through the bonus content. So please, people, don't do that. Don't do what? Joel, please, dear God. Wait, what did I do? The bonus content's good. I've upset Muffin. What did I do, Muffin? Do I like sushi? I do. Did I say that? Yeah, sushi's great. Sushi. I'm not a big fan of like just the sushi by itself, where it's just the fish, or the sashimi, or whatever it is. If Mr. Beast invited you to play Minecraft for a video, would you? I would. I'm on board. Let's do it. I'm more of a Woblox guy. You know how many bands stopped making music and randomly appeared? Yeah, I know. Sometimes they just, I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, that's what's so crazy about music. Like, if you want to get into content that's like evergreen, dude, just make music. People will listen to that for like 200 years and shit their pants when you've disappeared for 15 years. Like, what do they even do? Do they still make money? Does it all? Yeah, I'm gonna go on Hot Ones. Oh, like gone? Oh, like me going gone. No, I would have no reason to disappear. Oh, like 10 years no music and then boom. Wait, what do you... sorry, I feel like I missed it. Oh, I literally just said someone had to be paying musicians to make music. Oh, and then I did it, yeah. Which... Is that bad? I don't know. I don't think so, honestly. Like, I guess some might say, like, well, you're not getting, like, true art or something because you're paying them. But I told him, I was like, just make whatever the fuck you want. I just want something, you know what I mean, from you. That's within the lieu of the Trishasla, and maybe you could call it Return to Trishasla. And, yeah. That's what I do, but I never stop making new stuff. When I am gone, my son will have a huge legacy of mine to do whatever he wants to with. Hopefully he doesn't burn it like Tolkien. Marry you. You gotta buy me a big old diamond. A big old Prince Charles. There's no use for musicians anymore. AI does it better. I can be honest, I don't even know if I've listened to any AI music before. And that would suck. Music is cool. I don't know. Maybe we'll put like a big limitation on AI. I wonder if you'd even be able to tell like AI music apart from normal. Most soulless dog crap ever. I mean, that makes sense, yeah. That's how it is whenever I see all these like philosophy YouTube channels pop up. It's like the script writing you can tell is AI, the voice is AI, and it just like sounds so gross. Joel making me crazy. Next morning, someone found her near the dirt track that led to her home. She'd been stripped, robbed of her dignity and purity, and then shot through the eye. Seeing as he was still a deputy, the old sheriff was charged with going from door to door to see if he could find any witnesses, and then after almost 3 days of knocking on doors and getting no luck, he found someone who'd spotted something on the evening of the spinster's murder. 3 Waynesville men, all in their 20s and 30s, had been seen talking with a liquored-up spinster as she was walking out of town. The witness was able to name at least 2 of the men, while the third was identified by association. All 3 men were then rounded up for questioning, and for a while, it was looking like each one would be convicted and hanged. By some unforeseen, unforeskinned technicality. kitty. Lay on this thing. Lay on this fucking bed.
That's where I got it for you.
Alright, never thought I'd hear the words liquored up spinster. That's a good one, yeah. Theoretically, current AI might be a bubble that's about to burst because the data sets are running out and the memory and processors are becoming too expensive to justify with such a low return. I like it, man, honestly. Maybe we'll get back to ground zero. I don't know, man. I mean, it's been fun. It's been a fun little thing. Fuck around with it. There's Pradeep. He wants uppies. But yeah, I think we need to just get back to the just humans. But it sucks because it seems like the powers that be, the Pentagon, they want the AI, because the AI is the only thing that like sorts through all the data very fast and, you know, kind of categorizes everyone into either evil or bad. But by some unforeseen technicality, not one of them ever spent a single night inside a jail cell for what all and sundry were convicted they were guilty of. Wait, how do you say this? Inside a jail cell for what all and sundry were convinced. Oh, all and... Oh, okay, like a sundry was also involved in this situation. I invited 5 of YouTube's most popular horror story narrators to a game of Minecraft. We have Let's Read, Canny, and more. With me, with today's video, we have Corpse. Well, is that your YouTube intro for your Minecraft video? Because that would be absolute epic sauce. But by some unforeseen technicality, not one of them ever spent a single night inside a jail cell for what all and sundry were convinced. I don't really follow this. Whatever. Get rid of sundry. That sounds weird anyways. You're using AI even without knowing it. The people that donate the most are at the top of your list respond to. What do you think figured that? AI is nothing new. Mortal Kombat, etc. used AI. Oh, what did Mortal Kombat do? Like a more recent Mortal Kombat or the old ones? Do you know Anthony Padildo? He should have interviewed you when he did the Faceless YouTubers. No, it's all good. I think, honestly, in that situation, Corpse is substantially more interesting than myself. Just because, you know, he's much more marketable to everybody, I feel like. But by some unforeseen technicality, not one of them ever spent a single night inside a jail cell for what all were convinced they were guilty of. It was a terrible miscarriage of justice, so bad that each of the accused had to move this family out of... That each of the accused had to move their family out of Waynesville for fear of... How do you take care of your voice? I guess I have like a big bottle of like soap that I gargle before bed, but then I just like I leave it there in my mouth and it forces me to breathe through my nose, but the soap just kind of like sits there in a puddle in my like throat. It was a terrible miscarriage of justice. It was a terrible miscarriage of justice, so bad that each of the accused had to move their family out of Waynesville for fear of some reprisal. The sheriff then turned to my grandpa Cyrus and asked if he could guess the family names of those men accused. Grandpa Cy said that he didn't need a second guess, and when he said Browning, Macklemore, and McRae, the old-timer just nodded. Those men moved their families out of Waynesville out of fear of repercussions. Yeah, Marlboros, Marlboro Reds, Marlboro Blacks. The cigarettes I smoke, they're actually made out of camel. They kill a camel, crush it down, pack it just for me. Those men moved their families out of Waynesville out of fear of reprisal, but when it came, it wasn't visited on them. It was visited on their grandsons. Grandpa Cy then asked what it was about the little wooden doll that had brought all of them back to him, because it was clear to him that... What the fuck did that even mean? Then asked what it was about the little wooden doll that had brought all of that... Oh, I see.
Curses upon the doll. Curses upon the doll. There will be curses upon the doll.
Do I not like Corpse? No, I like Corpse. Why? What did I say? Was I being mean? Is this a story or a riddle? It's from a sphinx. The great Egyptian sphinxter. Luck of the Erd. Luck of the Erd. You thought I hated his voice? I never said I hated him. I just... I think I saw someone comment, saying, maybe it was you, but it was in one of the VODs of the thing. And just because I, joke about people's things, you know what I mean? It's like the joke... Emulating someone through a joke doesn't mean that you, are their enemy, you know what I mean? It's just, a comedic sound that you are sort of, repeating from your mouth. I just think it's fun to talk like that. You know what I mean? I'm the joke. Yeah, I'm the jokler. I'm the joker. And I jake off. Grandpa sighed, then asked what it was about the little wooden doll that had brought all that back on him, because it was clear to him that was the case from the charge. Because it was clear to him that that was the case from the charge in the old-timer's expression. Damn it. Grandpa sighed, then asked what it was about the little wooden doll that had brought all that back to him, because it was clear to him that that was the case from the change in the old-timer's expression. The old sheriff held the doll up to him, then pointed towards something Grandpa and his fellow deputies had always wondered about. One of its eyes was large and round, the other a small, crudely worn pit. Grandpa always figured the dolls were supposed to be some kind of message, but he could never figure out what. Yet after that visit to the old sheriff, the message became clear. The dolls were the spinster, and this was her revenge. In light of that, everyone over at the Haywood Sheriff's Department figured Lily Beth had to be one of the spinster's distant descendants, the granddaughter of a brother or sister she rarely saw that no one ever knew about. No one showed up to collect her body, and the only mourners at the spinster's funeral were folks from around Waynesville who'd heard her story. But that didn't mean that she didn't have family who'd eventually... I'm just joking around. Personally, I joke off. I joke off in public under my giant trench coat. I'm joking my shit right now. I'm sorry. I hope that I didn't scare that person off. I wasn't trying to be mean. It's just you know what I mean? You hear people's voices. I hear a British voice. I gotta do the British voice. I hear a voice from Africa. You gotta do the African voice. You hear a voice from Japan. You gotta do the Japanese. You hear corpse. You gotta do the... You know what I mean? I'm just doing it. Just doing a thing. You do Mick Mouse. I'm Mick Mouse. Nobody asked me if I'm enemies with Mick Mouse. Mick Mouse is my best friend, and so is Corpse. I'm going to Corpse's house tonight. I'm going to kiss him goodnight. I'm going to let him know I'm there for him. Called it stupid or something? Nope. I'm actually angelic. I'm an angelic being. It's actually impossible for me ever to hate on anybody for anything. But that didn't mean she didn't have family. Family who'd eventually learn of her murder and the miscarriage of justice that followed. They went to take revenge, and no. But that didn't mean she didn't have family. family who'd eventually learn of her murder and the miscarriage of justice that followed, then want to take revenge in the only way possible. The story will have a Japanese dub. Grandpa Sire and the old Haywood Sheriff Department figured Riri Beth had to be one of the spinster's distant descendants. Alright. So I don't know what that had to do with the Appalachian Trail, but that's fine. Arigato. Yeah, you gotta put me on headphones so I can scream. I sounded really dishonest saying I'm nice. Alright, I'll prove it to you. I'll buy you a bucket of popcorn. That's how you know. Should be a voice actor. Your range of impressions is exquisite. Thanks. I do hope so one day. Go be a cool dude on a freaking sick-ass anime thing, or maybe in a movie with a mouse. How long is this one? 7? Okay. Sorry, it's only butterless popcorn. I feel like an idiot, but you know how like you think of something like funny like when you're in the shower later on or whatever? I just remember that one person who like genuinely seemed pretty lucid and was like pissed that like most of the bonus content was like either music or like shit they've already heard or whatever. And when I was in the shower, I thought to myself, I was like, well, I should have said that did they get their corn dog? And then they would say, what? And I would say, YouTube's supposed to send them a corn dog in the mail. And if you become a member, YouTube should have sent all of you guys a corn dog. And if they didn't, I'm sorry, you're kind of missing out on the best part of becoming a member. It's from way back before the Civil War, and straight from the hills of... Oh. You got your corn dog, Nip? Okay, thank Christ, somebody got it. You never got a corn dog? Alright, I'm gonna get Pradeep on top of that. He should be delivering that to you with it should be a corn dog hanging around a little collar around his neck. But he will have to be running down the highway to get to you, I assume. So this, if he does get injured, it's going to come out of your corn dog. No biscuits, just straight ballpark franks. Does Pradeep like dogs? No, dude. I remember there's been a few times where, like, because the one at my old place I used to live at, the one guy that lived there kind of periodically, my drug dealer, no, I'm just kidding, like periodically, like he worked with like rescued animals and stuff, and he would bring like dogs in that needed fostering for a period of time, or just like his own dog. And dude, it was just so funny to see Pradeep just like as soon as he sees a dog, just like go up like a fucking witch's cat with its like up on his legs and his fucking hair sticking straight up in the air like he's just been like stretched out or seen a ghost. He hates dogs, sadly. Not a big fan of other cats either. He's very assertive. Joel's Jorkin Hotball Park Franks, manufactured in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Patent Don't put the patent number out there. This story's from way back before the Civil War, and straight from the hills of Vergi. And although I've heard it more times than I can count, I'll be damned if is it... Johnny Hamcheck? What's your take on content like his? Hamcheck? I never heard of him. Let me check. Johnny... Hamcheck. He does... Sorry I'm late. Balboni Rentals, Old Pals. Oh, is it like pranks or something? The Dog Hitter Detective. This is a small channel. I thought that you were going to reference. So he just like keeps a camera on him and gets people to say stupid stuff or something? Yeah, it's not a very big channel. It's like 27K subscribers, and like some of his videos only have like 1,000 views. He's funny. Oh, okay, interesting. How do you guys all know him? He's not not super popular. What the flurp? Alright. Man, I don't even know. Vergi? I guess Vergi. I don't know. Damon Darling. Who's that? This story's from... Shite. This story's from way back before the Civil War, and straight from the hills of Vergi, and although I've heard it more times than I can count, I'll be damned if it isn't a good one. You see, it's a tale about pride and wickedness, about beauty and goodness, and how sometimes the good Lord steps in when the devil. You see, it's a tale about pride and wickedness, about beauty and goodness, and how sometimes the good Lord steps in when the devil gets too... Man, fuck off. You see, it's a tale about pride and wickedness, about beauty and goodness, and how sometimes the good Lord steps in when the devil gets too bold. So gather round on your phones or your computers, however y'all are listening, 'cause this here's the tale of Isaac, the plantation owner's son, and Emmylou, the prettiest girl in all of Highland County. Highland County... Okay, I guess I was supposed to make that sound more dramatic or some shit. I have no clue. You're exhausted? That's alright. You can sleep. Have yourself a nice little sleep. See you, Matt. So, gather round your phones or your computers, or however y'all are listening, 'cause this here's the tale of Isaac, the plantation owner's son. Oh. So, gather round your phones or computers, or however y'all are... Oh my god, I can't do this y'all shit. So, gather round your phones or computers, or however y'all are listening, 'cause this here's the tale of Isaac, the plantation owner's son. It's a series of people. This is a Christmas carol from Appalachia. The Liquored Up Spinster. That is a great name. The Greased Up Deaf Guy. What happened in the last story? It was like an ancestral curse or some shit. I don't even fucking know. So gather round your phones or computers, or however y'all are listening, 'cause this here's the tale of Isaac, the plantation owner's son. Oh, God fucking damn it. I read it and I just don't know the context. And Emmy Lou, the prettiest girl in all of Highland County. Twang your Judd from Penn Cemetery, yeah. So, gather round your phones or computers, and however... I've done this fucking 10 times already. So gather round your phones or computers, or how... Oh my god. So gather round your phones or computers, or however y'all are listening, 'cause this here's the tale of Isaac, the plantation owner's son, and Emmylou, the prettiest girl in all of Highland County. Highland County is tucked deep in the heart of what you might call Central Appalachia, a place where the sun paints the hills gold in the morning time and where the moon seems to hang low over the hollers at night. Folks lived simple back then, plowing their fields, tending to their livestock, and leaning on each other when times got tough. But even during the best of times, there was a shadow hanging over them. The grand plantation and its wealthy owner, with its fields stretched wide behind it, put a sudden twang to it. Practice for future voice acting. Good point, good point. Southern sweet Saturnalia. Do. Okay. I'm drinking some tea from Taiwan with the high gamma aminobutyric acid content. Interesting. What's all that about? I think you might want the microplastics. The grand plantation and its wealthy owner, with his fields stretched wide behind it, worked by the Okay, I can't keep up with this story for some reason. Is this saying something? The grand plantation and its wealthy owner, with his fields stretched wide behind it, worked by the slaves he owned. What is that? Is that a statement or is that a sentence? I don't quite understand. Can I explain Skyrim lore? The Dovahkiin. Something like that. Okay. But even during the best of times, there was a shadow hanging over them. And then this is a sentence by itself. It doesn't make any sense. The grand plantation and its wealthy owner, with his fields stretched wide behind it, worked by the slaves he owned. Period. Why is that Why is it like listing something? I don't understand. Okay, context. Folks lived simple back then, plowing their fields, tending to their livestock, and leaning on each other when times got tough. But even during the best of times, there was a shadow hanging over them. And is this like setting the scene here? The grand plantation and its wealthy owner, with his... I don't know. It was perched high. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of how to fix it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of like how to fix the context. So I don't really understand like what it's trying to do here. It does make sense if it just says randomly out of nowhere, the grand plantation and its wealthy owner, with his field stretched wide behind it, worked by the slaves he owned. Why? Is it like, I don't understand what it's trying to say. Like, is it setting a scene? This is throwing me the fuck off, bro. I really don't understand what the fuck this is saying. It was perched high on a ridge. Like, if there was like some words before the grand plantation and its wealthy owner, like just to... I'm trying to think of how to swap... I don't know. I'm trying to think of how to like because I don't know grammatically what they're trying to do here. But even during the best of times, there was a shadow hanging over them. Next paragraph. The grand plantation and its wealthy owner, with his fields stretched wide behind it, worked by the slaves he owned. Oh, is that the shadow? Okay, the slave-owning guy is the shadow. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to get context there, and now it makes sense. The grand plantation is the shadow, but the way that it jumped into it made it seem like since it's a whole new sentence and a whole new paragraph, it made it seem like, I don't know, fucking confusing. But even during the best of times, there was a shadow hanging over them. The grand plantation and its wealthy owner, with his fields stretched wide behind it, worked by the slaves he owned. It was perched high on a ridge like a king looking down on his subjects. Down in the valley, though, lived humbler folks, including the family of Emmy Lou, a girl so lovely that she could hush a room just by stepping into it. Now, the plantation owner had a boy named... What the fudge? This sounds like the Grinch. You about to hop in the shower? Please start yelling. Okay.
Now the plantation owner had a boy named Isaac. A tall, strapping young fella with dark hair and a smile.
Now the plantation owner had a boy named Isaac, a tall, strapping young feller with dark hair and a smile that might just fool you if you didn't look too close. Motherfucker, this is the Grinch. It's like poetically the Grinch. Phonetically and poetically the Grinch. Now the plantation owner had a boy named Oh my god. I really thought I would burn through this motherfucker. But it is not an easy story to read. Now the plantation owner had a boy named Isaac, a tall, strapping young feller with dark hair and a smile that might just fool you if you didn't look too close. He was handsome, sure enough, but his heart was colder than a January frost. Growing up with silver spoons and fine horses, Isaac had never heard the word no without stomping his foot. As a youngin', he'd chase the other kids with sticks, stealing their marbles or apples just to watch them cry. Then as he got older, it got worse. He'd swipe goods from the market or general store, knowing his daddy would pay off the trouble, while folks whispered about the dark things he'd done to the slaves on the plantation, things too ugly to speak plain. Then there was Emmy Lou. She was a sight. Guys, did you guys know Emmy Lou is pretty? She is pretty. She's a goddamn pretty person. That is her entire personality trait thus far in the story, being a real looker. She's a sight to behold. Then there was Emmy Lou. She was a sight. Hair spun... Oh my god. Hello, Brazil. She was a sight. Hair spun like gold. She was a sight. Hair like spun gold, falling and... Very fetching, yeah. Sorry, I don't know. I'm like checked out right now. And it's like, this is Appalachian stories, but like, I don't know. Like tonight's... Because I know after this all we got is a true crime story. And it's like these other ones have been compiled, but they're like... They're just odd. They're like not really Appalachia shit at all. I mean, I guess loosely, but I feel like if I put Appalachia in the title and people get to it, it like has like absolutely fuck all to do with the woods. Switch to ghost stories. All right. Favorite Suicide Boys song? Isn't there one called like Milky Milkman? Then there was Emmy Lou. She was a sight. Hair like spun gold falling in waves down her back, and eyes bluer than the sky after a rain. But it weren't just her looks that made folks fall in love with her. It was her heart. Emmy Lou had one as big as the mountains, always lending a hand where it was needed. She had a voice so sweet. She had a voice was. Activate my redneck mode, man. God damn. She had a voice was sweet as a... Yes, because every redneck can write just like this, and they will write exactly how they talk. She had a voice was sweet as birdsong, and she'd hum hymns while working, making you feel like all was right with the world. She'd tote baskets of bread to the hungry, stitch up torn breeches for the poor, and sit by the bedside of the sick till they mended. Her folks lived in a little cabin near a meadow, and it's there that this tale takes a dark and dreadful turn. One day, Isaac took a notion that he wanted him. Gosh. 28 years later yet? No, please don't tell me. Don't tell me if you liked it. Don't tell me if you disliked it. Don't tell me anything. I just want to go into that movie this weekend completely blind. Giant creature that tried to dig up the cousin. Now that was an Appalachian spooky. That was pretty good, yeah. Oh, fucking hell. One day, Isaac took a notion he wanted Emmy Lou. One day, Isaac took a notion he wanted Emmy Lou for his own. So he dressed in his best coat, he proudly rode his black horse down to her cabin. He found Emmylou. I can't fucking read her name, dude. He found Emmylou on the porch, mending a quilt when he swaggered up. He wished her good morning, tipping his hat with that sly grin of his, and then after telling her she was the prettiest girl in the whole county, he asked her for her hand in marriage. Emmylou looked up, her needle pausing mid-stitch, and she said she had no idea he felt that way. Isaac's... God, I just can't find a flow with this shit, brother. This shit. Emmylou looked up, her needle pausing mid-stitch, and said she had no idea she felt that way. Isaac confirmed so, then added that not only would every girl for miles around kill to be in her shoes, but saying yes would guarantee her a life of luxury up in that big plantation house. But Emily... I don't even want to read this, bro. I genuinely don't even want to read this shit. I don't... Yeah, is she pretty, though? She's not just pretty, she's got a heart of gold. Which I guess is kind of a great combo. I can't skip it, dude. I need, like... Otherwise the video is just, like, incomplete. Perhaps a potty break. I will after this, I promise. But Emily... keep wanting to say Emily. But Emmylou wasn't swayed by fancy words or promises. She set her quilt down and met his eyes square, then told him that while she was flattered, she didn't love him, and she couldn't marry a man she didn't love. Isaac's face went red as a rooster's comb. He repeated how he was the son of the richest man in Highland County, and that she was throwing away a life most would beg for. Emmylou said maybe that was so, but she still wouldn't wed for less than true love. That just about done it. Isaac reared up like a bear stung by a bee, hollering about how she'd live to regret turning him down. Then he stormed off, leaving... This is pretty much Bowser and Peach. We could exchange this story for, like, Bowser wanting to fuck Peach, and... I really do hope Mario comes out of nowhere with a Yoshi, riding a Yoshi. Then he stormed off, leaving nothing but fury and scattered chickens behind him. Isaac wasn't the kind to let a slight go unanswered. He brooded up in that big old plantation house, his anger festering like a sore. Then over the next days that followed, he hatched a plan blacker than coal. He knew Emmylou, I can't say her fucking name, dude. He knew Emmylou loved picking flowers in the meadows near her cabin, a peaceful spot hemmed in by trees with wildflowers of every color. She'd go there near every day, basket swinging as she sang to herself, and that's where Isaac decided he'd get her. He'd sneak up on her, take her by force, and then slit her throat to hush her up. Then to cover his tracks, he'd leave a few strands of cotton staple. He's gonna blame it on a slave. That's crazy. Would you pass me? You pass me the Dutchie. Then to cover his tracks. Wait, fuck. He'd sneak up on her, take her by force, and then slit her throat to hush her up. Then to cover his tracks, he'd leave a few strands of cotton stapled on her body, pointing the blame at one cotton staple. Then to cover his tracks, he'd leave a few strands of cotton staple on her body, pointing the blame at one of his daddy's slaves. It was a devil's scheme, born of pure spite and poisonous pride, and young Isaac intended to follow through with it. So, one sunny morning, Emmy Lou set out for the meadow with her empty basket, ready to be filled with flowers. But what she didn't know was that Isaac was watching from up on the ridge with a heart all filled with hate, all filled up. Man, why did Emmy Lou have to be so mean to him? Candyman Origins. Did I say Dutchie? Yeah, you never heard that song? Pass the Dutchie on the left hand side, yeah. Pass the Dutchie on the left hand side. Babylon Rose gets it. There you go. But what she didn't know was that Isaac was watching up on the ridge. Man, I can't read this shit, bro. But what she didn't know was that Isaac was watching up on the ridge with a heart all filled up with hate. Then once she was out of sight, he'd slip down all quiet, keeping his distance as he tailed Emily. I keep wanting to say Emily Lou. Would I marry Emily Lou? No, dude, she's dead. I can't marry her anymore. It would be really awkward to marry a dead person. Guys, please don't send in any fairy tales. No more fairy tales from now on. Then once she was out of sight, he slipped down all quiet, keeping his distance as he tailed Emmy Lou towards the meadows. Since the weather was looking good that morning, the meadows must have made for quite a picture. Bees buzzing, birds chirping, and Emmy Lou's singing floating on the breeze. I picture her wandering among the blooms, picking daisies and black-eyed Susans with gentle fingers before tucking them into her basket. But then there was Isaac, crouched low, waiting for the right moment as he stalked her from the tree line. But just as he tensed to spring, the sky above them turned gray. Then, from what must have seemed like out of nowhere, a dark cloud passed over them, and a low rumble growled through the hollow. It was a flash thunderstorm, the kind that sweeps in fast and fierce. The wind picked up, whipping the grass as lightning split the sky. Then when the thunder boomed, shaking the ground, Emmy Lou glanced up with worry. She knew those storms. All of us do round these parts, how they drench you to the bone if you don't take cover. So quick as a flash. Past the dodgy on the left inside. Is it me, or do state roads absolutely suck nowadays? I always remembered smooth rides when I was young. These days, just the era of potholes. Dude, we're going through our pothole era right now. And I keep hitting them while we're reading. Dawn! Welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Yeah, I signed up for the Fairy Tale a Day Letter Writing Club. This was sent in by babes. From 80 to 24, I'd say quadrupled. That is kind of lame. I always love that. They're like, why do we even pay taxes? They're like, do you want the roads? Do you want the roads paved? And it's like, oh, they're not doing a fucking good job at all. For the adopt a highway thing, it should just be like one person's responsibility. One guy who just like runs up and down the highway looking for fucking potholes, and when he sees it, he has to like hurry and scurry across the road with like cars going like 80 miles per hour and like fill them with concrete and tar. Also, why don't they just build every highway with concrete? I guess because it doesn't seal fast enough or become as hard as asphalt fast enough. But wouldn't that be sick? Just an entire highway of like really sick ass concrete. Yeah, we pay taxes so it can send it to Israel and blow shit up. You want limestone in your concrete? Does that mean that it would erode with like rainwater or some shit? Concrete cracks. I don't know. You think we would just have like a more efficient asphalt at this point? Super asphalt. Developed by Hitler and the Nazis. I remember it. It's one of the hidden secrets of DARPA. Developed by Emmylou. Yeah, she invented it. Tectonic plates are still a thing. Oh, that's a good point too. I guess it would be too stiff or like not very malleable in that scenario. See, I'm learning all sorts about building a highway. I'm going to be running across that highway, not using concrete one bit. I'm going to have a bucket full of black slop that I dump into every little crevice and be on top of that shit. They call me the highway leprechaun. Who all seen the leprechaun say, yeah? So quick as a flash, she gathered her flowers and ran for home while Isaac cursed under his breath. He'd waited patiently, and now the storm was stealing his chance. He vowed to get Emmylou another day, but fate had other plans. Come morning time, the storm had come and gone, leaving the air cool and the ground slick. Then fill the roads with flubber. Just have them getting squished over and over again. How the F do they have road work for 20 years around DC and never finish? Tax dollars out the windows, folks. Yeah, it's so embarrassing. Like, you think they would just have like the most, I don't know, you think about Japan, it's like they'll have like a giant fucking sinkhole created by Godzilla one day, and then if you watch like a time-lapse video, it's like by the end of the workday, the entire road and all of the street lights and shit are like right back to working order, like it never happened. And it's like America just, I mean, it's corruption, right? Because like I've always heard that the people that bid for the contracts to get construction jobs or fucking highway jobs and all that shit, isn't that like mafia shit essentially? Just like that level of corruption. Yeah, the Amish would get that shit done fast. But I don't think they actually like give those contracts out to anybody with legitimate talent. It's just, I don't know, whoever has shot the most people in the head. You love the Amish? Yeah, the Amish they have some great food and great chairs. Emmylou is running Doge, yeah. Emmylou actually invented Palantir. She's not as good as you think. Then out near the meadow, A peddler was trudging along the road when he spied something odd lying by the wayside. At first he reckoned it was a fallen log or maybe a dead critter, but as he drew near, his stomach turned over. It was Isaac, or at least what was left of him. His body was blackened and twisted, his clothes burned clean off, and the stink of charred flesh hung so heavy in the air that it was enough to turn the peddler's stomach. We already said turned stomach. Let's say something else. Enough to She's a Fox News broadcaster, right? She also works at CNN in the morning. Joel James passed the joint to you. Okay. I'm coughing. Fit to sour a dead man's ale. Oh no, that's good. Sour the dead man's ale. Interesting. His body was blackened and twisted, his clothes burned clean off, and the stink of charred flesh hung so heavy in the air that it was enough to sour a dead man's ale. His body was blackened and twisted, his clothes burned clean off, and the stink of charred flesh hung so heavy in the air that it was enough to sour a dead man's ale. Lightning had struck him dead. The peddler crossed himself as he muttered a prayer, then hightailed it to the nearest farm to spread the word. Word spread through the country. This was in the history books, actually. Oregon pronounced like Poregon, not Oregon. Oregon. Yeah, Oregon. What? Don't some people say it weird, like Oregon? Chris Reagan. Oregon sucks. Nobody move here. Full. You're blowing guys. We're full. You're blowing guys. That's all you can do when you get there. If you arrive, your duty is just to blow homeless dudes all day. Oregano. Oregon. Yeah, Oregon. Yeah, why do they say it like that? Or I say Oregon. 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 Word spread through the county. Word spread through the county faster than a greyhound on the hunt. Folks gathered in the town square. Folks gathered in the town square, buzzing like bees about the news of Isaac's death. Some folks said they always knew that he'd meet a bad end, that he was rotten to the core. Others said it was a guardian angel looking out for Emmy Lou, as word of Isaac's intent to wed her. To wed her. Others said it was a guardian angel looking out for Emmy. Oh my God. Fuck me, man. I'm checked out. This has nothing to do with fucking any of the you know what I mean? Like, it just sucks because like the Appalachian stories are supposed to be like big time, biggity big time, and then I get this fucking one thrown in front of my face, and it's it's fine. It's a fine piece of writing. Nothing against anybody who sent it in. It's just it's not a fucking story, bro. It's just like it's the Grinch. It's the Green Grinch. Might as well just call the guy Shrek. Lord Fartqueef. Word spread through the county. Word spread through the county faster than a greyhound on the hunt. Folks gathered in the town square, buzzing like bees about the news of Isaac's death. Some folks said they always knew he'd meet a bad end, that he was rotten to the core. Others said it was a guardian angel looking out for Emmylou, as word of Isaac's intent to wed her had spread through town. Emmylou herself stayed hush. Some said that there was relief in her eyes, but also a touch of sorrow. She'd been spared, but it was a heavy thing for a soul like hers to bear. Before long, life settled back to its regular rhythm, but Isaac and Emmylou's tale grew roots. Folks would tell it around the fire, pass it down like an heirloom, and use it to scare their kids into good behavior. Mind Isaac, they'd say, who thought that he could take what he... Let's Podcast Wienermobile ready for the Pacific Northwest Buttersall Cult meetup. It should be. It should be. It's just in the shop right now getting lubed up. Jiffy Lube. Mind Isaac, they'd say, who thought he could take what he pleased, but the Lord sent a bolt from the blue to set things right. Emmylou lived a long and happy life, marrying a good man who loved her true, and she bore sons who bore their father's strength, but also carried her kindness too. She moved on, but she never forgot the day in the meadow. She moved on, but she never forgot that day in the meadow, and some say she believed to her last breath that a higher power had stepped in to save her. And so there's your story, straight from those old hills in Appalachia. Pride and cruelty will... Appalachia. Oh, see, I didn't even say it right, and everybody's gonna bust my fucking balls. Fuck. So there's your story, straight from those old hills of Appalachia. Pride and cruelty will lead you to ruin, but goodness and faith will always see you through. The Lord's watching, and sometimes His justice can be as swift as lightning. Sure, whatever. Alright, dude. Dudes and dudettes, I will be right back. I'm gonna make a bit of tea. Make a bit of tea. Amen? Amen. You know what they say about plans? Humans make them, and God shits on them. I always thought that was kind of funny. I've heard that saying, like, within the Christian context. I'm just like, why is God, like, shitting on our plans? Like, stay out of the plan, man. You're ruining it. Did I had my earbuds in for an hour just listening to my thoughts because I forgot today was Wednesday. I think this live stream collectively stopped World War III. Thanks, chat. Yeah, no worries. We got it. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe sometimes Barron listens to me, you know, and then Barron talks to Donald. Don't Trump. And then Trump is like, you know, Joel's right. Joel's right. We probably shouldn't have perpetual sand wars to infinity. It's not cool. It's not fun. It's expensive. And sometimes people die. It just wasn't so hot and humid, bro. Oh my God, it's midnight. It's still streaming hot in this house. Yeah. Joel's alt-right. You're alt-right. See? If I call you it, now you're it. And now we come and get you. We come and find you. You are the thing that I call you, and now you bad. If I say word, now you bad. Queef Sweat, thank you for the 2. Says boner owner. Exactly. Alt goth, yeah. Me too, dude. I got my mascara on right now and my pube shadow. I'm alt goon. I'm alt gooning. I found a new way to goon. I'm alt control delete, yeah. Who are your top 5 favorite music artists, bands to listen to? I don't know. There's probably like Jake, Slippy, Melford Six, Mumford and Dad, and Ray come under the coals. Clam Clapper, thank you, Boop. Oh, that'd be a good band name, actually. Jake from State Farm. What's up, guys? We're Jake from State Farm. And we cover Blink-182 covers. Why would you listen to Suicide Boys when you could listen to Super Alive Men? Alright, guys. We got a true crime story Reno. Story riggery-roo. Aphex Twin is good. Though, I'll be honest, in all of the weird sort of alternative electronic bullshit, Aphex Twin has some good songs, but they have a lot of shit where I just can't fucking stand it, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of their tracks where it's just too much fucking noise, you know? I get some of those, like, strange experimental electronic stuff that, like, tries to, you know, they're trying to do different things, but whenever it gets to the point of just being fucking, like, obnoxious scratching sounds in your fucking ear, it's just like, fucking miss me with that shit. Just keep making the weird spacey chill shit. You feel the same way about JPEG Mafia? I don't think I've heard them. I'll have to check them out. Crystal Method. Filmed by Aphex Twin. What's the one where, like, the monkey is, like, chilling inside of a hot tub, but it's up on the mountain? It's like he's on the top of, like, Everest, like a Mount Everest snowy mountain, and he's in the hot springs, and he's just sitting there like meditating in the hot springs, listening to Aphex Twin. What's up, Kylie? What is good? Watermelon? No. Anybody know the song I'm talking about? The Monkees are in Japan. Yeah, what's that song called? Stone in Focus. Thank you. Yes. Stone in Focus is one of my favorites. But I guess just because it's chill, you know what I mean? But honestly, you could put on Stone in Focus for like 10 hours and I could just zone out to that shit. On January 18th of the year 1970, two freshmen from West Virginia University. Urkia Badu? Yeah, I started early tonight, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get into a normal schedule here. Would you enter in a pepper eating contest? Yeah, try it. Do you think I would die? Reacher, what's up, dude? On January 18th of the year 1970, two freshmen from West Virginia University decided to hitchhike back to their dorms after catching a showing of Oliver. Two freshmen from West Virginia University decided to hitchhike back to their dorms after catching a showing of Oliver in central Morgantown. Is it Morgantown or Morganton? You need to fix your sleep schedule too. Yeah, I think what I did was it got to midnight, like around now, and I took a bunch of ZQuil and some of my magnesium shit, and then it just knocked me out till like 8 in the morning. And then I've just been like essentially trying to just do that every night till eventually my body's like, all right, I'll sleep. Which I really don't suggest using any ZQuil like frequently, but I don't know. Morgantown, West Virginia, okay. Started at 10 instead of 11 Eastern, don't worry, I'll still go for another 7 more hours. Yeah. Do another all-nighter. I could just sleep here. Right here. You know what? I want to listen to Stone in Focus. Let's switch it up. We're going to listen to Stone in Focus so I can focus. Let me know if it's too loud and we can get it perfect. You want to see the Monkees? Dude, he's chilling in there. He's got a big old beard. Stoned and focused. On January 18th of the year 1970, two freshmen from West Virginia University decided to hitchhike back to their dorms after catching a showing of Oliver in central Morgantown. During the movie's intermission, Malarick, God fucking damn it, what the hell is that name? Marid. What's up, y'all? It's Marid. Malarick. I don't know, man. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry my pants. I'm gonna cry my fucking pants. Fuck. How do you say this? Does your astronaut hoverboard take batteries, or do you have to charge it in a tree? I think it's just gas power. We're just fucking like blowing loads of CO2 into this stupid ass forest. Marid, like married without the I. Marid. So Marid, Malarick. It's piss powered, yeah. If that's one thing I support, is that the state mandates only like 50 names total, girl and guy. And there's a lot of crossover there. Sorry, ladies, you're going to have to be named Matthewtha. So, Merid Malaric. Okay, Merid Malaric. Here we go. You felt a tear run down your leg. I cried a white tear. During the movie's intermission, Merid Malaric and Karen Farrell bumped into two fellow WVU students, Paulette Burns and her boyfriend, Clarence Lewis. The group chatted in the movie theater's lobby while buying snacks, then sat together for the remainder of the showing. Following the film's conclusion, the four students walked in the direction of Willie Street. Will I do you the honor of mauling you? That would be kind of interesting. Like, you know how they have, like, OnlyFans? It'd be kind of cool, instead of, like, paying people to, like, get titty pictures, you could pay people to, like, beat them up. You know what I mean? Do I wear Crocs? Dude, I remember I had a pair of Crocs, only one pair in my entire life, and I wore them so much that eventually they just had holes underneath them. Just big fucking gaping holes. And then I stopped wearing them because I was detecting that my feet were losing their arch. Only slams, that would be good. Sport mode. Following the film's conclusion, the four students walked in the direction of Willie Street, but upon spotting a cream-colored sedan driving down the street towards them, either Merid or Karen stuck out their thumb. The sedan stopped. Then Paulette and her boyfriend watched as the two girls climbed into the car's three-seater frontal compartment. They thought they'd see the two girls back at the campus dorms. The sedan stopped. Then Paulette and her boyfriend watched as the two girls climbed into the car's three-seater frontal compartment. They thought they'd see the two girls back at the campus dorms. But neither Merid nor Karen would ever be seen alive again. Paulette Burns might have been a college freshman, but she was not naive. She knew hitchhiking came with an inherent risk, so when she arrived back at the WVU dorms and discovered neither Merid nor Karen were anywhere to be found, she started to grow concerned. She asked around the dorms, checked the girls' rooms again, and then after another hour or so passed, she contacted law enforcement to report the two girls missing. Paulette was convinced something was wrong, but the officers down at the Morgantown Police Department didn't quite share her sense of urgency. The two girls had only been gone a matter of hours, and while Paulette's concern was touching, it was perhaps a little premature. The officers down at the department knew college kids, especially those situated near the Appalachian Trail, were prone to bouts of spontaneous adventure, and in all likelihood, Merid and Karen would return to their dorms within 24 hours to only pain, yeah. Fat burger. Can you guys invent an app, please? Think of a good app idea. Think of a good widget. Please invent a perfect widget that we could create together. Is coffee just mud and water? Fairly certain. Gooners in the chat. The cheat, I use nuggies and giant shells, fresh diced garlic, and Parm Mott's mixed shredded cheese. Ooh, fuck me. Top it off with seed oils, right? You use widgets? I don't even know. Where do you even access a widget anymore? I think they've been outlawed. Abraham Lincoln freed the widgets years ago. It came later. I will not help you build your app. That was a Rick and Morty about this. There's too many Rick and Mortys. The officers down at the department knew college kids, especially those situated near the Appalachian Trail, were prone to bouts of spontaneous adventure, and in all likelihood, Merritt and Karen would return to their dorms within 24 to 48 hours. I fucked that up at the end. Emmy Lou is the creator of widgets, yeah. You know what I want to tell Joe Rogan? That he might not realize it, but everybody is funny. Everybody you've ever met at some point has, like, said an absolute fucking banger of a joke. And this idea that, like, stand-up comedians are just inherently the only funny ones on earth is, like, the most brain-dead, stupid bullshit I think I have ever heard. I guess no one's ever said that. I don't know. I kind of made it up in my head that Joe Rogan said that, and I'm mad at him about the hypothetical. But just let me be mad, all right? The officers down at the department knew college kids, especially those situated near the Appalachian Trail, were prone to bouts of spontaneous adventure, and in all likelihood, Merritt and Karen would return to their dorms within 24 to 48 hours. But they were sadly and painfully wrong. After a few days went by and the girls had yet to reappear at their WVU dormitory, Paulette called the police again. Only then did they act on her report. Officers reached out to the girls' dorm mates and parents to gather information on them before issuing a public appeal for information regarding their whereabouts. Photographs of the two girls were released, along with details of their last known sightings. But frustratingly, nobody came forward. 6 long weeks went by before the first break in the case, but when it came, it didn't bode well for the missing girls' safety. Because when a kid was walking along, a kid, I don't mind Joe Rogan. No, I don't mind. There's a lot of, like, guests on Joe Rogan's show that I do really enjoy. Genuine. Like, I mean, even the guy from, AJ from the Y-Files was just on Joe Rogan. I think I listened to that whole shtick. He doesn't deserve he's guest. He doesn't deserve he's guest. You have to say it with, like, a Russian accent. He doesn't deserve he's guest. You say that to, like, someone visiting, like, a grandpa. Like, you're the old lady across the street watching, like, a grandpa getting visited by his, like, family that loves him, and he doesn't deserve he's guest. I deserve guest. You come to my house and drink my tea. You eat my biscuit. Do you know you're the send to sleep king? I do. I'm the sofa king. Wee Todd Ed. I have a reoccurring dream when I fall in water with my wallet and phone, and when I get out, they're both okay. It's a very deep, symbolic meaning. Am I barefootsies? I have socks on. And if I were to take them off, my feet immediately blur, so nobody can see. Being a stand-up comedian takes a bit of craft to hypnotize a whole room into... Oh, I was reading that. You deleted it. What the hell? Honestly, dude, okay. So I'm like, as most people, I'm like okay at I'm okay at saying jokes off the cuff, right? With like decent comedic timing, and I know that. And I'm okay at writing skit ideas and writing them down and then maybe like manifesting them through acting or something like that. But I have a lot of respect for stand-up comedians, because to get up there and just like have that thing that you've written down sound like you're saying it off the cuff, even though you've said it 10,000 times, and it not to sound like forced or weird or awkward. Like, stand-up comedians kind of have to be like, they have to know what character they want to be on stage, and they have to be decent actors at that character. Now, sometimes that's a manifestation of who they are in real life too, but honestly, a lot of the times I feel like they kind of like put on a persona, and it's a hard thing to do, you know? Being a stand-up comedian takes a bit of craft to hypnotize a whole room into thinking you're funny with constructing the order and timing of how you use speech. Yeah, man, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it's definitely a spellcraft for sure, that you can't just like you can think of funny ideas, you can be funny with your friends, but getting on stage and like thinking of shit to say that's funny is like at least 3 or 4 times harder. Joe Rogan will have the guest on and he'll act like he didn't hear any of the information the next day when another guest comes on and he even remotely disagrees with it. I thought it was really weird how like Joe Rogan was like going out of his way to like defend who's the guy who has the cult island from 30 Seconds to Mars? Do you know what I'm talking about? Jared Leto. Yeah. You know, Jared Leto's like kind of weird, right? Like kind of an odd, like I talk about like the Buttersock cult, but I'm just joking, you know what I mean? Like I swear I don't have an island where we all go to. But I mean, like he genuinely does, and it's, and he's been pretty consistently weird for a while. And I mean, I know it's Hollywood. It's the same Hollywood that like kind of built like a barrier of protection around that guy who played the Flash. Remember the actor who played the Flash? And he was like the most toxic motherfucker of all time. Doing some of like, just like tons, yeah, Ezra, that Ezra dude, like tons of fucked up shit. All sorts of crazy stuff, but they just like circled their wagons around him and just pretended it's totally fine. Everything's fine. But like if a YouTuber did even like one thing that like Jared Leto and like Ezra did, I feel like you'd be, you know, hung at the stake. I don't know, just interesting. But then like Tim Dillon was like trying to bring up the whole like Jared Leto's kind of weird thing, and Joe Rogan very quickly was like, shush, 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 shush. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Jared from Subway, yeah. Him and Leto have an island together. I don't know. Just weird. Weird. Yeah, you don't just own military compound for a house for no reason. It's called sex trafficking, which Jared... Yeah, I mean, wasn't that military compound, like... Didn't it have a history to it? Like some previous existing, like, history related to criminal actions? Or is it... am I getting that weird? Weird beard. He's got such a weird, almost amorphous, bug-eyed face that Jared Leto would be considered weird even if he were a stand-up normal fella. Well, I mean, he doesn't age, which is impressive. I mean, I think he's 50 and he's still like 115 pounds, which I don't think is great for longevity. I think you need some more muscle mass for longevity. He is a good actor. I will give him that. Like, obviously, The Joker was not a great movie, but like, I mean, I've Requiem for a Dream, American Psycho, that more recent movie, Blade Runner, he was in that. I thought he did a great job as a side character for that. He's a fantastic actor, I'll be honest, but he's just odd. Yeah, 54 looks 34. I mean, that's That's the goal, I suppose, right? Tries to look like Jesus. Thanks, DR. His assistant had to quit a while back because he didn't stop preying on... Yeah, you know, there's definitely a lot to sort of... I'm sure there's got to be lots of videos on YouTube about, like, his odd happenings, but it seems like Hollywood just kind of ignores it, or... I don't know. Some people think he's a plant. He's a Venus flytrap. Alright, where was I? Officers, after a few days went by, girls to reappear in dormitory. Is Mr. Beast a plant? No, I think Mr. Beast is organic. Like, I think he just... Honestly, he's one of the first, like, excessively high production, like, YouTube channels to now have, like, that system and kind of, like, set that standard. And, I mean, I don't know. Snagglepuss. Alright, officers reached out to the girls' dorm mates and gather... Okay, I don't know. After a few days went by, and the girls had yet to reappear at their WVU dormitory, Paulette called the police again. Only then did they act on her report. Officers reached out to the girls' dorm mates and parents to gather information on them before issuing a public appeal for information regarding their whereabouts. Photographs of the two girls were released, along with details of their last known sightings, but frustratingly, nobody came forward. 6 long weeks went by before the first break in the case, but when it came, it didn't bode well for the missing girl's safety. Because when a kid was walking along the US 119 picking up trash as part of a cleanup program, he found Merritt's purse lying among the foliage. A few weeks later, on April 8th of 1970, the West Virginia State Police received an anonymous letter postmarked in Cumberland, Maryland, just 2 days prior. It read as follows: Gentlemen, I have some information on the whereabouts of the bodies of the 2 missing West Virginia University co-eds, Merritt Malarick and Karen Farrell. Follow directions very carefully to the nth degree and you cannot fail to find them. Proceed 25 miles. Holy shit, this story's longer than the first story. Oh my god. Fuck, man. Dude, this story's longer than the first story. What the fuck? Oh, man. I gotta go to bed. I'll read this fucking tomorrow. God damn it. That's so annoying. Obama. I'll finish it tomorrow. I'll finish it later. I don't know. I gotta go to bed. If I don't, I'm gonna fucking sleep in till jizz o'clock. And why is this so long? Like, why were we not? I don't know. Dude, streams have taken so fucking long lately, and I know I go on tangents, but have I not gone on tangents millions of times before and it not taken me fucking 5 hours every time I stream? Like, I am so confused how recent streams have taken me like an hour longer than normally, you know what I mean? Anyways, this song was Aphex Twin, Stone and Focus. Philosophical Ape, 2 hours. That's me. Alright guys, I'll catch you later. I'm sorry. I'll get this up on Patreon, new video out, same time, same place, 9 p.m. EST. Follow me on Instagram at letsread.official. Follow my new page, linked up top, new true crime channel called Saturn Soul. Go follow it. Good edited videos. And be sure to check out the new Twist of History everywhere you listen to podcasts. Got a job interview and I'm so excited I'm going to wake up early as fuck to take the light rail. Nice, good luck. Guys, love you, appreciate you. We'll get this done later. Bye-bye.